could sit here and read live commercials and just make tons of money for the company. I could tell you the same thing over and over again.
I can't be tagged as the guy who's a dick.
They must be so jealous of me. I'm so successful, and they're just kind of not. You know what I mean? I feel the jealousy. That's why I don't leave my house. Don't you also sort of harbor some resentment, even though it's not logical, but you resent your baby for being in the way of your career?
Because we don't want the Japs anymore, man.
Because I want respect.
Some people say our show was the first reality show. I don't think there's one thing I've ever said on the radio that would have been found indecent or obscene. The secret to my show is honesty, reality, that I will say the truth.
A Lotus Notes exclusive. This week on Lotus Notes, in order to make a clever thumbnail of Chauncey Hayden, Sara is going to have to become a rapist.
Dear Diary. Dear Diary, Sara. Dear Diary. You have to say that as much as you can today. I have this app on my phone called Voxer, and you can kind of text with people and Wi-Fi out of the country. So I won't. When Mark Harris goes to Germany, we text. So I won't be in the country. And so G Canada, who doesn't leave a lot of voice messages, he'll write a lot of these manifestos. And by the way, Melvin is so getting off to these sounds you're making right now. And so I see this voice message. It's probably 30 seconds. And you know how G Canada fancies himself the sort of guru of testicular providence. And he thinks that he only listens to masculine rock and roll music. And it's right out of, the WBAB top 40. And so he leaves this message on I don't know if you remember the song. He goes, "We were so in love, you and me, on the boulevard, wild and free, giving all we got, we laid it down, taking every shot, we took the town, we were running with the night, playing in the shadows, just you and I, girl, it was so right, we were running with the night." Sara, you are in I don't know if it's a submarine or there's some kind of arousing echoing that Melvin's picking up on.
Am I echoing?
You sound good.
I should.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Was I breathing into the mic?
Possibly.
I probably was.
It's better. You sound good though. Thank you,
You'll
Mr.
be fine.
Thank you, Mr. A. Smith. So G Canada loves that Lionel Richie song, "Running with the Night." I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to play this without his permission, so I'll play it next time. There's a little chink in his testicular providence armor, I shall say. Thank you, A. Smith. Sara, do the business before I forget.
Oh, God, it's been so long. Yes, and I do want to say thank you, Mr. A. Smith, for the $5 super sticker. That puts us at $120. We still have left for the month. This is the last day to do it. I know we've slacked a little bit because you've been sick with the most minor colds.
Oh, come on. I got sick doing this show. You talk about suffering for your craft. I completely trace it back to doing this show 4.5 hours and then having the fan blast on me while it was still cold because I'm a mental pain. I have like the craziest heat index. So in December, I'm having a fan still hit me, and I'm all over the place. Medication wise, I get this forehead sweats, and that must have done me in. For the whole week, it seemed like nothing at first, and then it grew and grew and grew. I had migraines all week. Bon Jovial's texting me like a mental patient with these manifestos and these bits he wants me to do with Dear Diary, and I couldn't even look at it and engage my creative muscles.
I'm playing a violin for you. But yes, I really want to encourage people to Take the Cash App option if they're able to donate. I know it's the end of the month. If you can't, you can't. We have the Cash App and we have the Venmo option. The most convenient way is the Super Tip option. Not Super Tip, Jesus. I'm thinking of Patrick Melton. I apologize
Oh
sincerely for
God,
that.
you've Milton on the
Super Chat.
brain.
I was just
Jesus,
listening to that today.
you and your white trash Schadenfreude shit. Oh my God, who's he on this time? Who's the 5 hour?
The usual.
Okay.
I enjoy that show. Don't judge me.
That's like Mark. Melvin, we've yet to choose fried chicken. That's next time, Melvin. This is a bad week for that. I couldn't roll around in flour and but it is. I have some pictures, man. I think I got it down. I think I got it mastered. By the way, there's a unbelievably looking sandwich, and I hope the commercial lives up to. At Applebee's now has this massive chicken sandwich. You see this?
Yes, I have, because you have sent me about 10 messages about it. So yes, eventually I had to stop ignoring you and I had to look at it.
I gotta say, I'm not. You know how the commercials embellish everything, and it has in
Mhm.
very very fine print on all, major fast food and family restaurant commercials at the bottom. The food is not appear as it's bigger in the commercial. They just like cover their own ass with this stupid fine print on the bottom of the screen. But it's
Yeah.
just as good as it's on the commercial. I am in on that shit. It's about time they
Well,
did that.
I also looked up the price of that one sandwich without the side dish of the fries, and it's about $16, which is normal these days. Hopefully not for long. But yeah, I saw that price and I was kind of just turned off by it in general.
Welcome, Chubby Pickle. I was thinking about you over the last few days because he went to Idaho for a delivery, and he delivered potatoes while we were listening to Chauncey and his beautiful Lily Rose Depp daughter in Ireland. Is that not perfect timing?
Mhm. That was a by the way, I was on the road during that episode when you were live. So, I did check in, and what a sweet little girl. I don't
Yeah,
know if she
crazy.
appreciates being called a little girl, but what a sweetheart.
It's fun to I hope she comes on. It's fun to poke at the what an interesting life. Chauncey's life is insane. What a crazy. He's going to be on next time, so we'll get into it later. But I want to thank
Mhm.
Chauncey for coming on. That was a great show. That was a fun ass show. It's so much. He has so much history. I don't think people know any of it, or they don't give him. I say this all the time. We've probably done like an eighth of what he's done. He's responsible for so much shit. Just the other day, I go, "Hey, why don't I go play Howard Fatshame, the lead singer of Evanescence?" And it turns out it was Chauncey that started it. He had an interview with her, and then she pissed on Howard in the interview.
Mhm.
Every time you look something up, he's at the center of it.
Yeah, I
It's
was long gone
crazy.
by then. I was long gone by that era of music, listening to the Stern Show.
That woman who I love, she was the head of the Daredevil soundtrack. Remember the Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner, Daredevil
Sadly,
movie?
yes, I do.
Yeah, she was the head of the soundtrack. Oh, thank you. Chubby Pickle says, "Well, the goal will be reached later today, dear." Oh, what a mensch! And we got to have him back
Do
as
I have to
well.
show my nudes? Is this
Yes,
just gonna happen on its own? Do I have to do
that's
something?
Melvin just perked up. Melvin is Mr. Skin. He is the horniest mother effer. He makes Mr. Skin look like a eunuch, like Morrissey.
And
Uh,
I will, by the way, I have a new headset, so I am still learning the proper placement of the microphone. So if I do breathe into the microphone, I don't mean to hurt everybody. I know it's soul crushing when I do that, but I'll try not to.
when was the last time you were on? A month ago?
Probably. Yeah, for Jump Street episode 1.
Oh yeah,
We have to be better with
the
that.
next one is a Guardian Angels episode.
Okay.
So they did a take on this when the Guardian Angels got really big in New York in the
Mhm.
late '80s, and Jump Street did an
Oh, yeah.
episode based on the Guardian Angels,
I remember that
where
episode, yeah.
Aoki and Judy go into the Guardian Angels, and Hanson and Booker are drug dealers. And I don't know
Let's
if Penhall has anything to do with. No, Penhall's still on. He's still staking it out with Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss.
let's record that very, very soon, please.
Okay. Okay. Hanson wears a Depp wears a Boston Bruins jersey in this episode. I don't know why I'm the only one that knows that. Vinny, speaking of Johnny Depp, so Depp should get a loan and open. This is funny. This is really funny. Depp should open up a casino with the Apache blood running through. He's like, he's 125th Cherokee Indian, as are you, right?
I am probably more Cherokee than Depp is.
He
I'm not
so
Cherokee at
loves
all, by the way.
in the episode, the Russell Buckins episode of Jump Street. He
Ugh,
reveals the tattoo he has of a Cherokee Indian on his. That's the first tattoo he ever got. That or Betty Sue it on his right bicep.
please
And
tell me we've already recorded that episode, right?
not the second one. The
No.
Return of Russell Buckins is in season 3.
Okay.
And Apache Buzzard doesn't. Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips comes from the same tribe. Sarah, what was the deal with Lou Diamond Phillips and what's her name, the lesbian singer?
Julie, his wife,
He lost his wife to
Melissa Etheridge.
Melissa Etheridge, right? Isn't that the
Mhm.
story with him?
Yep. Then they
Uh,
went on to have 2 kids with David Crosby.
oh my God, that's so bizarre. What a bizarre! Oh, that's so crazy.
And then Melissa Etheridge found a very young, early 20-something-year-old, I forget her name, blonde girl, who I think
Do you
she's with currently.
do you remember? The WB and CW were getting into the DC act, and after Smallville, they tried to launch an Aquaman pilot. It never
I didn't know
got
that.
picked up. Yeah, with Justin Hartley, who you see everywhere now. So he
Hmm.
played Aquaman initially in this, and it was they did a 2-hour movie. It was like an hour and with commercials, it was like an hour and a half. And Lou Diamond Phillips played Aquaman's dad,
Okay.
Arthur Curry Sr.
Makes
Yeah,
sense. Makes sense.
he looks exactly like the actor in the Momoa movies.
Mhm.
Actually, not Dead Ringer, but that was like the last time I saw him act, and that was like 15 years ago.
I still haven't seen Aquaman 2
He
or
Momoa
Joker 2, but that's probably a good thing.
Momoa's get supposedly in the movie with Terry Gilliam's directing.
Hmm.
The Devil movie, the Satan with well, I believe it when I see it, but Terry Gilliam's directing that, and Momoa. How did those two not get on the set and not bring up Amber Heard the whole time? How would you possibly do that? Right?
There's whispers.
How could they? How could you possibly? He sees him, and they don't bring up Amber Heard. How could that
There's
possibly? There's a gag order on her on that set. There's no way.
mm, there are whispers and knowing eye rolls. That's probably all they can really do. By the way, can I just say Jason Momoa? First of all, I probably when he was Khal Drogo, I was probably like his number one stalker.
Oh, I know. I remember that because I got so.
Jason Momoa has been ruined. Do you know why?
Why?
He's in every commercial now. Goofy.
Yeah,
I
to try
want Khal Drogo.
He wants to be a comedian. He's trying too hard to be goofy, which I mean, it's cool once in a while, but it's almost like where you can't take him seriously at all now.
Mhm. I did
I don't
enjoy the
even
Super Bowl
know.
commercial of a year or 2 ago where he
Yeah,
starts removing, like, his muscle limbs.
very funny. Yes,
After that, I just I can't anymore. He's not even attractive, and I even told you the other day, I think Lisa Bonet made him attractive.
that could be. Did you know he went to the same high school as Brandon Routh?
Who's that?
He played Superman in the Bryan Singer shitty movie,
Oh,
The
I don't
Bourne.
I pay 0 attention to Superman.
Bryan Singer tried to do a half baked continuity with Christopher Reeve's Superman, and it was
Mhm.
just so boring. And of course, Spacey's in it. Pedos ride together, right? Who you
Yeah.
hang with, and Bryan Singer has that sort of arsenal of actors. He has the stable of actors that every Christopher Nolan has is that you can guarantee you're going to see Cillian Murphy and Morgan Freeman every Christopher Nolan movie, and Tim Burton has the same 5 people every time. But so does Bryan Singer, and it was it was so boring. It was basically a shitty. He couldn't get off of Luthor. I can't even know how to explain how bad this was. Cyclops was in it. James Marsden. So he's
Okay.
another Bryan Singer act. Bryan Singer directed the X-Men movies. So it was so the budget was insane. It's so, and it's not Brandon Routh's fault. He's a good, it's fine. He's a good Clark Kent. It
I
was
just
Bryan
find
Singer's
I
fault.
find Superman so boring.
He is boring. He is boring. A lot of writers, a lot of comic book writers say like you can't, you're writing this demigod
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Perfect, and how do you make him interesting? What are his he's an alien. He's an illegal alien. So when I have these arguments with people about superheroes, I'm like, Aquaman is the most Native American superhero, and he rules 75% of the Earth. Superman's a fucking alien. Martian Manhunter's an alien. He's the most. If the Justice League is like the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Aquaman's the Navy. He must be in every iteration. If Aquaman were to fight Superman, not only does he have magic at his disposal, which Superman's susceptible to, he has all the kryptonite that blew up in the ocean that he's collected. And if Superman dives in the water, the yellow sun goes out and he loses his powers. There's
Mm-hmm.
no yellow sun in the ocean, in the depths of the ocean. Aquaman would kick his ass.
Even though Ben Affleck, oh my God, I blanked out. Can you imagine? How did I forget that name mid-sentence? Even though he played Batman in Batman versus Superman, I wanted Superman to just like be murdered
Yeah, a lot
somehow.
of people. Yeah,
I'm
they had that.
so bored.
We're gonna be
I just
talking about your sister crush later, Diane Lane,
oh, in
Martha.
one movie from
Yes,
one. I was way past her by then, but I judge a superhero based off of their villains. That's why Batman is my favorite.
his villains are psychologically interesting, but they suck. If you dropped Aquaman in Gotham City, he'd wipe out his rogues gallery in 10 minutes. They're all wussies. They're just crazy. They're not formidable. There's a couple guys like Bane and Killer Croc, and I consider Deathstroke a villain of all DC, but they're not formidable. They're just crazy.
All right, let's move along because you're so wrong. It's frightening. So
No, I'm
we'll move
not.
along.
Chubby Pickle says foot long white bread. Yes, pesto sauce, which I do not have enough of. Lettuce, tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, and a little.
Ugh.
That's a great. He's got. I like that. That is a perfect sandwich. He just described on a chicken, fried chicken breast. Welcome, King, sir. Welcome, Zersky. Quit breathing into your mic, Sarah.
I know he doesn't like me. It's okay.
King.
I'm just kidding.
I haven't karaoke like out
You
in a
just
long
did.
time. No, I'm
You just
due to do.
did. That was
I want to
enough.
do that again. I want to do that again. I'm kind of. I've been hankering to do that again. You know why? Because in today's Mary Jean will tell you, and so will Cindy Clausen. In today's day and age, you can karaoke any song you want because of now everything's there. When I used to do it like in the 2000s, you just had to use their book, and they had all the same songs over and over again, and you got tired of it. Now you can do anything. It's crazy. Any song you can think of, they can pull it up.
I want you to do
That's
March of the Pigs.
If you had to karaoke one song, what would you do?
Probably a Journey song.
Yeah, you can't. You gonna try to match his voice?
I can do it.
Well,
I'm
all
a
right.
great shower singer.
I believe it. I believe it. Melvin wants to see you sing in the shower with Steve Perry.
I have a video up on our Patreon of just that.
Thank you, Ida Greenbacks. Good to see you, Ida. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ida.
In and out of the conversation. What the hell did I want to say to Ida? She'd something. Oh, she talked about she was talking about Josh Brolin on Rogan, and I said to her, I go, I don't know how you get through 3 hours talking to Rogan, and Depp comes up and about Thompson, and you don't bring up the fact that you were the second choice for Tom Hansen on Jump Street. Isn't that crazy? How do you not bring that up?
I'm
I'd
still
spend the
waiting.
whole episode talking about it.
We were teased so hard with a Johnny Depp interview on Joe Rogan, and I'm still waiting.
I haven't seen Stanhope on Rogan in a long time.
He called him. I saw an episode about something. I think Joy Behar mentioned something about Joe Rogan, and he was
Yeah, he
reacting
believes
to it.
in
The dragon thing. It's so
dragons,
stupid.
right. I got a dragon you believe in, honey.
Komodo. But he had to call Stanhope about something, so we called him and left him a message.
On the show?
On the show, yeah. I don't think he
Wow.
ever called him back. I didn't finish the clip.
Does anyone know Rogan's routine? Meaning,
I don't care.
here's what I mean. So he does what, 3 of those a week or something?
I don't know.
Does he
1 or
record them
2.
in the same day? How do
Um,
they
the ones that have made the most news recently, he recorded them and maybe the next day they were released.
Okay. Okay.
I think the
It's so
beginning and the end gets trimmed up, and then, Jamie puts them out.
he could have Nancy Pelosi on and he would talk about MMA and boxing with her. He's
I don't
so
believe that.
ridiculous. He's
You
so
should watch before you just
I've
go by what
watched
Rachel
more than you
Maddow
have.
tells
I've
you.
watched more than you have. Every episode, it doesn't matter
Oh, have
who the
you?
guest is. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. He doesn't matter who it is. Let's talk about MMA with B. Arthur and I couldn't believe the people he crowbars UFC with. It's so ridiculous.
Your brain is tainted. You're
No, it's not
incorrect. It's
tainted.
fine. Yes, it is.
Oh, I got a taint for you to lick, honey. Holden, I want to thank you, Holden. Holden you talk about at the buzzer. So he alerts me on Twitter like a half hour ago that Daniel Carver died.
Oh, well,
That's
rotten
what I was.
pieces.
That's what I was telling you. So I went and cobbled together. You talk about at the buzzer moments with Daniel Carver for us today. How do you say rest in peace to the head of the Ku Klux Klan? I
I'm
don't
not
know how you
saying
say it.
rest. I'm saying rot. So,
Oh, okay.
rotten
So
pieces.
yeah, Holden's Dennis on Twitter. Thank you, Holden. I got some stuff. Welcome, Fine Chug. PC PB23. Welcome,
Hmm.
sir.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello. Or Leno Applebee's. It's a great chicken sandwich. Have you seen this? Have you heard? Oh, he's okay. He wants you to do Leno. Applebee's had this great chicken sandwich. You didn't hear about this? Yeah. Sears with the lawnmowers, the chainsaws. You know the whole
Don't fall down the hill at the Marriott.
I'm here, bro. Look at that, Chubby in Idaho. Chubby's been to all 50 states. You know, he takes his truck to Hawaii.
Okay.
Aquaman comes out with a blue whale. He just
Uh-huh.
drives on top of it and goes right to fucking Hawaii on the blue whale.
Wow. Okay.
Speaking of blue, I didn't realize Hawaii is the most blue state on the map. I might move there. I might have to go there. It's so Fiji, Samoa, anywhere. Anywhere. And speaking of blue, welcome Sunflower Dragon. Who
Hmm.
doesn't believe
Thank
in
you.
dragons, says Sunflower Dragon.
There are
We
dragons, technically, so.
I want to have her back on soon too. She was great on the
Sure.
last show. She has a she went and bought a microphone and everything. She was on I think she just used the native microphone on the laptop or phone or whatever. So she
Hmm.
actually went out and bought Amy Lee. Thank you, Zersky. That's right, Amy Lee. So next time we have Chauncey on next week, I'm gonna play the clip of Amy Lee going at it with Howard. I think it's 04-ish, and Chauncey interviewed her for Depping Out magazine.
I
And
do like to prop myself up a bit and say I can sing Evanescence. Probably not really, but
let's
in my
do it.
mind I
Do it.
can.
Come on. Give me some.
No, not here. I really can't. I sing it in the shower. I'll put it on our Patreon.
Who's the wigger that raps in that song? He's like almost like a
I don't
Fred
know. It's
Durst
one of those
type.
early 2000s
Yeah, there's a big trend with that at the time.
crap rock rappers. Yeah. Timu Linkin Park.
I've been dreaming 1,000 years for me. Got to open my mind to everything. And then Daredevil's falling off a building. I'm a huge Daredevil fan, and I cannot wait for the reboot from Netflix, which I believe it's moving to. I don't know where is it streaming? It's not going to be. Is it Netflix still, or are they moving it? I
Oh,
can't wait.
okay. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Daredevil.
I don't know.
Vincent
The original was
D'Onofrio
on Netflix.
is
That's all I can tell you.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Charlie Cox is a perfect Matt Murdock, and believe me, I know. Vincent D'Onofrio is about as A+ as it gets to portray a fictional character. You know how difficult it is to play Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin?
You know what I did when I watched Daredevil, the one that was on Netflix that everybody complained was too dark. Um, he was my favorite character, and I knew
Yeah.
nothing about Daredevil.
If you ever watch Spider-Man the animated series
Ugh, yeah.
and just watch Kingpin. And
Okay.
think of Vincent D'Onofrio. You're gonna be like, oh my god, he's like, it's. I think they had him watch that. It's like this is kind of who you're doing, and if you want a template, it's crazy. I think he beyond deserves an Emmy, and I don't know how he hasn't got one. I don't think people realize that is the very height of acting and being a chameleon. Spider-Man's a chameleon villain, but gee, I'm so blown away by him. That whole show is the best single season of superhero television I've ever seen. Is the second season of Daredevil when the Punisher is on the whole. It is from wall to wall as good as it gets.
Or the second season of Arrow,
That's pretty good. No,
second and
well,
third.
there's a scene where Frank Castle goes into prison for Kingpin, and it's kind of set up obviously, and he closes the door on him, and he just takes on the whole tier. It's the most brutal fight I've ever seen. It was, Castle's used to using guns and stuff, but
Hmm.
he's actually a very formidable hand-to-hand combatant when he has to be. Holden says Diane Lane is luscious in Streets of Fire. You
I
ever see
haven't
that,
seen.
Sarah?
No, I have not. Take your word.
Diane Bon Jovi is going to give his gift of baby love arm, Mr. Microphone for Christmas, Vinny. That's exactly right. Thank you, Chubby Pickle. Let's
Thank
keep
you.
this ship sailing, Depp heads. God damn it. I think we got to do. Chubby Pickle needs to have the what's the cam on your head again? The 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 what's the name of the cam where you're filming in front of you? People use it for BMXs and God,
Uh,
my head's up my ass today.
I'm right there with you. So
The
I just
GoPro,
call it.
GoPro,
Yeah,
GoPro.
GoPro.
So how great would it be if you got to see like he's in Nebraska and shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd,
Idaho. Who no
I'd
one really.
watch.
You've been to Idaho, right?
I don't think I have.
It's a weird state. And I say that like politically, I say that it seems like a lot of crimes are coming out of there now. It seems like it's like gentrified. I don't understand Idaho. I don't.
You don't need to. You're across the country. Don't worry about us over here.
Speaking of across the country, Sara now is a proud owner of Xbox One,
It's not in my hands yet.
but you're
So
getting it.
no, I'm not. Okay.
And I couldn't be more proud of you for getting it. So Sarah's in the market. If anybody's selling Xbox One games, and I think she's getting a I with you. Like, I'm not ready for. I'm a huge gamer, like kind of growing up and stuff, and I kind of roll. I taught my nephews everything they know, and they passed me by like I was standing still at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of losing my. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if it's time. I don't know if it's. But so I kind of just. I too am not going to the new systems. I'm fine. I thought PS4 and Xbox One were fine. I don't need the new. And we say that all the time, but I really mean that now. I thought those systems were fine. I don't know why you need any more than that anymore, and I don't think I'm gonna. So
No,
you're
you
fine.
won't.
You're
Yeah.
fine. That's a great Xbox One is a great system,
And
and
I
there's a.
have 2 games total that I've had for like 4 years that I've never played. I have the NFL game with Patrick Mahomes on the cover,
Oh
and I
wow,
have the NBA 2K whatever with Damian Lillard as a Portland Trailblazer on the cover. That tells you how long they've been sitting here and gathering dust. I do want to, by the way, before we move on, Philly 29. God bless you. I just got your Venmo. Thank you so much, sir.
oh my god, yeah. Thank you, Philly. That is a mensch, right? That is a mensch and a half. Here's my prediction for the little comment on Philly. Here's what I want. I want a lot. Some combination of Lions, Vikings, Eagles in the NFC Championship, and in the AFC, it's got to be Buffalo. I'm going to take Kansas City out of it. I'm just going to take them out. I'm going to take
I
them
wish
out of it.
somebody would, but I don't think that's going to happen. I only root for them this season because Kareem Hunt's back on that team, and he
How
was
great.
very loyal to Cleveland while
I
he was
agree.
here. He came in, took Nick Chubb's place last season, did a great job. I root for him.
He's my kind of running back because he's a great receiver out of the backfield. He's like a multi-purpose. Those are my favorite backs, the guys who can do a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
I think he has the Chiefs single season rushing record.
I believe you're right. Yes.
It's him or Priest Holmes. I can't remember who, but it's recent.
And the other reason I root for him, and I know it's not really great to say that because of what he did, but he was thrown off the Chiefs or dropped by the Chiefs right before in the preseason, I believe, before they won their first Super Bowl ring. So he missed out on that. He had to go rot in Cleveland for 3 or 4 seasons, get nothing hardly. And now he's back on the Chiefs. I can't stand Kelsey. I'm almost that way with Mahomes. And I don't like that they got Devontae Adams because they get everything they ever want with very minimal, coming out of their pocket. But I do root for him.
I told you, it's hard for me. My cousin Jeffrey, he's Gary Delabate's age, and actually grew up about a mile away from Gary Delabate. He lives in East Meadow, and Gary's from Uniondale. I mean, literally, it's like a couple miles away. Great, but this guy, my cousin Jeffrey, is like a Scott the Engineer bowler. I think he is a 228 average. It's basically Pro Bowlers Tour, but he just doesn't. I don't know if he's as good as he's been bowling since I've been a kid, and he's a Chiefs fan since I was a little kid. And it was just any NFL fan knows in the chat, they're just irrelevant. Like they were just a team you'd forget about. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
Sarah, they just were nothing until this Mahomes era. You forget about them, and so they were very rootable, and now you're sick of them. Like now it's to the point now, like very similar to Golden State, how they became with Curry and Thompson and Green and everything. How Golden State was irrelevant for years and years and years. It's just like that, and Mahomes is a lot like Steph Curry, and so
Oh
it's
god,
hard for me to
yeah.
go too nuts on them. But I'm telling you, they were irrelevant for
No, I know.
decades.
The first time I ever heard of them, and I was really young, so that's my excuse, was when Joe Montana went to the Chiefs.
Mm,
That was the
that
first
was
time.
yeah,
I
that was
even watched a
interesting.
couple Chiefs games, and I was that didn't last long.
They had a running back named Christian Okoye, and
Mhm.
he was called the Nigerian Nightmare. That was his nickname. And so, speaking of great backfields, he was in a backfield with a guy named Barry Word. And your backfield, I thought, was one of the best of recent times
Mhm.
when Chubb and Chunt in were together. I thought that was as good of a current backfield. I think the best backfield in the NFL today is Miami's. I think I'm just going strictly on talent. So Asian and Raheem Mostert, who's my favorite player in the league right now, I think that's the most talented backfield in the NFL. That's my
Well,
opinion.
had Minka Fitz headhunter not gone after Nick Chubb's knee, you wouldn't be saying that. You would still say Nick Chubb,
So
and whoever he's paired with is the best. So, hush.
I'm a Steeler fan, and I would have no problem with like a Bills Chargers AFC championship, something like that. That would be cool. Imagine a Bills Lions Super Bowl. How great would that be? Because you have to have a winner. One of them has to win, and you get a Super Bowl. And those goddamn Detroit Lions Super Bowl would be amazing. It would be
Keep the Bills out
so.
of it, and I agree.
Oh, they're probably the best team in the AFC. I bet.
We'll
That's
we'll find someone else to take their place.
Arm is part of the whole Pollock tribe. Yeah, that was speaking of Pollocks, Larry Mondello's shoes. G Canada said that was his song with the Pollock sisters when I sang Lionel Richie in the beginning of this. Yeah, you can hear me hacking up phlegm.
Catch up,
Talks
hurry up.
Arm mentioning Superman's Aquaman. Life doesn't get any better on a Saturday night, right, Ben? Right, Ben. Ben is like you. He's like a male version of you with the witticisms. He's a very,
I
very,
don't give me
very
any
good
credit,
joke writer.
please.
One of the purest joke writers I've
There's
ever
no
seen in the
joke
history
writing
of the
here.
universe. I said him. I said Ben. And you.
I know,
And
but
you.
you said like me. There's not on this end. Sorry. Give it all to him.
One of the things I was pissed at you for is when I went to write my monologue, I go, "Hey, Sarah, why don't you help out? Write a couple of jokes that you didn't even bother." I'm like, I got so cheated out of your rapier wit. No pun
I put the rest of that show together. You could do it a 5-minute monologue.
intended. Let's keep this. Thanks again, Chubby Pickle. Thanks again, Sunflower Dragon, Ida Greenbacks, Philly, everyone, Holden. Oh God, Holden, you son of a bitch. So it's Daniel Carver's wife died. It wasn't Daniel. So I go and get. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. You know how much. So he has me scrambling around at the last second. I'm going to play it anyway. I don't care.
Okay, well, whatever.
Daniel's wife died. Oh my God. All right, let me go to
Somebody
the.
asked me more who my favorite He-Man action figure was. As a youngster, it was Tila, but as I grow older, I appreciate, like everyone else does now, whoever you ask, Evelyn. I have to go with Evelyn. I don't
Thank
like her hair, but I like Evelyn.
you know who I like?
Hmm.
Stratos.
Okay.
You know who Stratos is? He's like the Hawkman of
Yes.
He-Man. Yeah, I don't know why I loved him. I don't know what it is. If it's the design, see. I love Archangel, and the X-Men too. I guess I left this thing for winged superheroes, but I don't know what it was with Stratos. I just thought he was kind of underrated, and I should love Man at Arms, right, with the name, but
Mm-hmm.
I saw an Angels jersey on eBay 2 days ago. They had an outfielder named Tony Armas. So on the back it says Arm, and I'm thinking about buying it and just taking the AS off then.
Why don't you just pay 5 cents extra and get a personalized jersey?
Because I don't know, I think he signed it. He's like a really good power hitter for Oakland and the Angels. Chubby Pickles in Salem, Oregon, right now, Sarah. Is
You
this
said it
real?
correctly. Congratulations. I think that's the first.
I said Salem, right?
No, you said Oregon correctly.
Me and Artie say Oregon.
Hmm. So dumb.
Uh,
Nothing to
it's,
do, by the way, Chubby. I apologize that you have to be in Salem. There's
it's a
nothing to
great
do.
town. It's a great town. It's the
Enjoy the
capital.
tents as you drive by.
The capital of Oregon. Enjoy. No, Chubby Pickle currently right now is the only black person in all of Salem right now.
That's not
Black
correct.
population just went up 100%.
That's not correct.
There's no way you have. Go look up the population. I guarantee it.
I don't want to. I know what I see.
Ben Benjamin lives in Idaho. Are you kidding me, Ben? Are you kidding me?
There you go.
Ben, do you have a NBA G League team in there? Don't you have like a G? Idaho needs a sports team. There's all these like crazy trials and crimes coming out of there now, right?
Oh, so they need a sports team because of all the crimes?
Yes,
You
of
make no
course.
sense. By the way, half of my state wants to be part of Idaho, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking of moving to Eastern Oregon, joining a militia. Just kidding.
Apparently, Boise is a pretty happening town. Apparently, it's like a fun city. Seriously, I
Hmm.
heard that it's a really up and coming, and it's gotten expensive and shit. Uh, yes, PCB, my man. He's a Steeler fan. Me, Jason Momoa, me, and PCP, all Steeler fans.
Because there's a
As
super chat here, I'll thank him and I'll say, "Go Steelers."
thank you, PC.
That hurt
Ben
me.
Ben Ben. I don't. Here's the thing with Sarah. She's a sore winner. The Steelers are the only team, the only owner. Rooney was the only owner to
Who
stand up
cares?
and say the Browns stay in Cleveland,
I don't
and then
care.
Baltimore takes the Browns and they win 2 Super Bowls, and that would have gone to you, and you should like them. I don't know what. You're crazy. You're crazy. You hate everything. I. Why
I
can
don't
I
like you.
like?
I don't like your team of divas, and I don't like Coach Thyroid,
Oh,
and
that's a cool. You wouldn't you wouldn't have him wear the
a
aviators?
team of divas and headhunters.
Who looks better in aviators? Mike Tomlin or Joe Biden?
Kevin Stefanski,
I actually like him. He's
my
a nice guy.
salt and pepper daddy. Mm.
I think he's one of the like the most likable coaches in the league.
Yep.
Um Mika Fitzpatrick is Jose Billataro, the dirtiest players in the league.
Oh God, yeah. Notice if you guys ever watch any future Steeler versus Browns games, I think there's one coming up. They hide him now because they
Oh yeah?
know the Browns want his head for what he did to Nick Chubb. Rightfully so.
King, you got a good point. The Lions backfield, Gibbs and Montgomery is great. You're right. I don't know. Yeah, it's close. I just think talent-wise, I feel like Asian and Mozart, if they really play the full season. Arrowhead, there's a cool stadium on TV. Andrew Jenkins, doesn't it seem like I said this to Sarah? Kansas City plays 17 games at home. Are they ever on the road? Doesn't it seem like they're always home? They're they've been on national TV every week, and this is a great segue for me. But Sarah, have you ever seen the Chiefs on the road? They're always home.
I
It's
try to
crazy.
avoid Chiefs games, but I hear it from you every 10 seconds every
They're
Sunday,
always.
so
There's no way they play half their schedule on the road. There's no way. The Lakers always feel like they're home too. If you watch in
God,
the
the
NBA,
Lakers,
if you they're
clown
always
show
home.
Lakers.
So speaking of which, this is the last thing, and we'll get to Stern stuff and Depp
Yes,
stuff.
please.
The Dallas Cowboys, we have got
Ugh.
to do something. I had this conversation with my nephew, who is a millennial, and my cousins, who are kind of in my age, Generation X, and my other nephew, Sean, is Gen Z. And so I'm asking him, I'm like, do you guys are your friends, just Chucky and Sean, who are, again, millennial and Gen Z? I said, do any of your friends like the Dallas Cowboys? And they go, no. And they have all their friends are huge football fans and sports fans. I go, friends of friends. And do you who do you did they wouldn't they have lost an utter generation? The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years or so.
Are
Like
you
the
saying
mid to late 90s. They're on national TV every week. They're what are they? 3-8 or 4-8? It is the crazy. I don't know what hold Jerry Jones has over the NFL. They think it's 1978 or 1996. They're not. There's no new generation of Cowboy fans. Why are they on national TV every week? I say take them off Thanksgiving. I say they got to do away with. Here's what Thanksgiving should be: Pittsburgh and Green Bay. You know why? Because they're good every year, and then they have the wild card game after that. Pittsburgh and Green Bay should be on Thanksgiving. Get rid of the Cowboys. I love the Lions, but they were bad for so many years, and there was so many bad Thanksgiving games. So I really think it should be Green Bay and Pittsburgh because they're good every year. So you're guaranteed a relevant game. This Cowboy shit is the strangest thing in all sports. And I don't know if it's fucking Skip Bayless and his bullshit. There's nothing like this. Maybe the Knicks, like a shitty team that gets way too much attention. Why are you as annoyed by this as I am, Sarah, at this crazy national spotlight they continue to get?
Take a breath and realize, finally, the media lies to you. That's all you got to know.
Well, I'm not.
They tell you they're America's team. If you
What do
don't
the
agree,
networks get out of this?
they claim that more people will tune in for a Cowboys game.
There's no way. I will push
Okay.
back on that research till I will state everything I
All right.
am
Well,
told on that.
until you get Fox Sports on this show to discuss it with them, I have no answer for you. Or Skip Bayless. Dear God, he'd probably come on the show. He has nothing else to do. But I have no answer for you.
This fellow Browns fan, David, as is Marta, another Browns fan. She's in there.
Of course.
I don't think she's.
That's America's
pretty good.
team.
Yeah, well, I don't probably. But so the other thing is, so here's Trapjaw. That's Beth Stern, Beth Ostrowski. Trapjaw.
I take credit for that. I called her Trapjaw long ago.
You did. Actually, you did coin that. Yes, you did. So here's the other thing so Tom Brady is now the head analyst on Fox as he replaced the great Greg Olson, who was excellent. And so they cuts right to the front of the line. Like there's just no. And Brady's a genius and he's fine, and there's certainly a spot for him if he wants it, but he goes right to the front of the line, the head analyst spot. And so Brady, who is trying to get, kind of get his bearings and he's done like 8 Cowboy games because he must be like going crazy in these meetings. Why are we doing the Cowboys? They're out of it. They're out of the playoffs. Why are we? I'm sure Brady's yelling at his bosses. I don't want to do a fucking Cowboy Rams game this week. It is the most. It is. I have been bothered by this for years. This year, I'm blowing my stack.
I'm sure you'll be able to change it. I'm sure you'll be able to get in there by yelling on this podcast where we might get, 2,500 views. I'm sure that somebody from Fox will hear your screaming and they will change their entire show. They will change the narrative. They'll make Tom Brady the intern who just goes after and gets coffee for all the guys. They will take all Cowboys games off for the rest of the season and just play the Lions on television.
It's so stupid.
Lions and Jets. That's all they need to put on.
It's so stupid. It's
No more Giants, no more Cowboys.
Jose Villataro says there's so many Cowboy fans in Northern Virginia. That's Redskin territory. That's Redskin territory. Why? Like what? Like the young. Where are Cowboys getting young fans from? Why? Right? Where would it come from? Like a lot of young people like jump on bandwagons. It's just, where would they have found them? I don't buy it. I don't get it. I think Jerry Jones has some weird financial hold over the league. I really do. And it keeps
Could be.
them. I really do.
Probably has photos of some people.
Yes.
That's how everything runs these days.
Oh
Blackmail.
God. Herschel Walker was on the Vikings and the Eagles, as well as the Cowboys and the Donald Trump owned New Jersey Generals in the USFL. That was a great documentary. If you ever saw the USFL documentary,
I think I have
it
actually,
was
but
good.
it's forgettable.
So yeah, the Chicago Bears. You got to feel sorry for Bears fans. They're right in there too. They started the season off. I think they were 4-1 or something, and now they have a losing record. It's like they just can't get it together. Sorry.
Yeah, mute.
Bears lost. It was a great game though, Pellel. You're right. You're right. Fine Chug says Cowboys haven't won since '96, and yet they're on. I just don't. The garbage that aired Thursday night with the Giants Cowboys is no worse. It's
They're
a
just
test pattern.
They're the big names.
Afternoon nap. No, believe it or not, New York, the NFL does not subscribe to the NBA big market thing. They don't. If they did, they would want a Jets-Rams Super Bowl every year, and they don't. That's the last thing they want. A Pittsburgh, a Steeler Packer game is way bigger national audience than a Jet Ram game. So that whole big market thing does not apply to the NFL. It's bullshit. I wanted to love the brand. I know, Jose, that Watson thing. Sara does not want to relive that again.
I don't
You
care.
don't talk
We'll
about
talk
that
about
anymore.
it.
You don't. That's okay.
We don't ever talk about the 3 other teams that really, really wanted him, but my team gets all the blame. And yes, he sucked.
Here's what Jose and I want to ask you. What do you think the future holds for Watson after this?
I think he's done.
You think he's done?
Yeah, he still has 2 more years on his Browns contract. I think he's going to come back to the team next season. I think they'll try to trot him out there for a game or 2. I think it's going to go the same way. He's going to be even less mobile after this injury. Then I think he's going to be benched, or they're going to cut him and just take the loss.
Do you see anybody taking it? I think it's going to piss you off because there's a lot of times, like, what happened with when guys go to Mayfield and Tampa Bay. What would happen if Watson went to
No, won't happen.
Tennessee and became?
It's not going to happen.
4,000.
He still has the same physical ability. Well, not before the injury, I mean. What really messed him up, I think he's mentally fried.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was the focal point of all news, and he just couldn't. I don't feel sorry for him. This guy's
When
set
you
generations over.
step out into every stadium you play on the road, and all you hear are chants of rapist, that's got to mess with you. You're never going to move past that. You're just trying to prove something at this point. You're lucky, Jimmy Haslam is so rich that he was able to give you a fully guaranteed $30 million contract.
Yeah.
Now you've got that contract to live up to. You're playing, in front of Browns fans, first of all, who are so mentally tortured already. They have no patience for you. You get booed even at home. Hey, what are you going to do? He's wrecked. He's not going to another team. And Mayfield had 2 other teams.
I know, it was
where
with
he
the
played like
Rams
dog shit.
and the Panthers. It was bizarre, but he is in a fantasy draft. I mean, this guy, he's going like 25 for 28 and
Good
310
for him.
yards.
He's
and
going
4
through a
touchdowns.
lot personally right now too. So I mean, his father stole $12 million from him.
Oh wow!
He's suing his father. So I wish him all the best.
This week,
I know he cares.
on Jump Street, in order for Deshaun Watson to become the new franchise quarterback for the Browns, Deshaun's going to have to become a rapist.
Well, congrats. All right,
4
let's
and
move
7,
on.
Jose. Thank you, David. Schwartz and Sandy's. Speaking of
Yep,
Schwartz, that's
thank you.
a great defensive coach. So give everyone the Vanderpump Rules news, Sarah, because we got to get back to that on Patreon.
I know. The greatest era of reality television ever, other than early seasons of New Jersey. So I know all of our audience cares about this, so I'll go quickly through it. Vanderpump Rules is cutting the entire cast and they're rebooting it. I don't think that bodes well for the future because it never works when you have people who kind of know how it works, but they're starting new on the show, so they're going to automatically come in scripted and trying to manipulate storylines. It's probably got another season or 2 left in it, and then it's gonna be done. But, that was announced that the entire cast was basically fired the same day that Schwartz and Sandy's announced their closing. So, Tom Sandoval, too bad.
I
Reap what you
blame
sow.
uh, I
Back to
blame
apartment life.
I blame Ariana Maddox for that. They
She's got
it got too enveloped by that bullshit, and it destroyed the rest of the
well, see,
cast's prime.
the one season was epic, where the lead up to the cheating revelation, and then the season after that, they were so lazy, they thought they had it made. So they didn't really have to put in a lot of effort. Half the cast chose the wrong side to, be with. They chose him instead of her,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And let me tell you, you want to talk about who really ruined the show? Carver.
They beat it to death, though. They beat it to death, and they made it. Not they couldn't move on. They couldn't figure out how to go in another direction, and they kind of enveloped themselves. They couldn't get out of their own way after that, and they couldn't
Mhm.
develop new people. And it's pretty. I have no problem with reality shows because I find them more interesting than sitcoms now. Like I don't care. Like I don't. It's oddly entertaining if it's somewhat organic,
Yeah.
and
None of
they
it
just
was organic.
they
The
need
that last season especially, and, like, a couple seasons in between the greatness,
right.
nothing was, it was just crap. But the first 5 seasons of that show, my god.
By the
We do.
way,
We really have to get back to that. I may cut it off, after Jax leaves our viewing on Patreon,
yeah,
but yeah, we really need to get back
I,
to that.
I realized this about He-Man, Andrew Jenkins, that He-Man is when they do these things, they're basically ripping off elements of Marvel and DC. He-Man is basically Shazam and Thor. You take the two of them and you put it together, and that's what He-Man is. He's
I
the
do like
elements of
I
Shazam and
like the
Thor.
Moss Man action figure because it really, after, like, 5 years, started to, like, stink.
You got chlorophyll in your hands.
Yeah, I mean, we have a neighbor across the street, he had every single action figure. I would go over there and just pretend I like them and go over and just play with the action figures.
Trapjaw is getting a lot of love here. I like Beastman too. I do like Beastman as well.
Yeah.
Trapjaw is getting a lot of love. That's interesting. Jason, Jason LS2 loves him from Trapjaw. So
Mhm.
it's ready to the grind of money.
A. Smith wants Golden Girls before anything. I agree with you. I'm getting back to Golden Girls.
That's you and
We
David.
Yeah, but he may not be available all the time, so you may have to join me. Um, so we may do a Golden Girls Vanderpump doubleheader.
All right. All right. Brady will be removed because of the ownership. Brady has an ownership stake. Hopefully, he gets paid in full, and Howard will seethe. Oh God, I love that Brady clip when he outed Howard of being a piece of shit in public because he wasn't like he didn't know who. Obviously, Howard's gay, and Brady had just become a good quarterback for the Patriots. And he went up to him. He's like, "Oh, I love you. I love the show." And he didn't know who he was, and it just chilled him. Chilled. Didn't look at him. Crazy eyes with no eye contact. And Brady told that story. I can't play that clip enough. I love that.
Tom Brady,
Maria,
I know he's disturbing to a lot of people. His over chiseled face
oh,
really
it's crazy.
bothers me.
You ever see the side by side of him 20 years ago?
Yeah. I
And
was
it's crazy.
watching, like, the last game. I forget what day it was. Was it Thanksgiving? Yeah, it must have been. But he's sitting, like, shoulder to shoulder with his, like, what's the guy's name? His
Burkhart?
yeah, maybe, but they're sitting shoulder to shoulder, then
Yeah,
they're
Kevin
staring.
Burkhardt. Yeah, that's
Okay, okay.
exactly it.
Then they turn to each other at the same time, which is disturbing, and they stare into each other's eyes as they talk,
I know what you're
and
talking
then they
about.
turn back to the camera.
It's homoerotic. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. They do that. Collinsworth and Tarico do that too. They're just like dry humping each other. I was like, why do you have to be that close?
Yeah.
Uh,
And can
that's
I
so
say
funny.
before we move on completely from the He-Man, only because I see He-Man in the chat still, as a little girl, I had so much hope for the She-Ra arc
Yeah,
and going, you know, branching off, buying all those toys. The quality was not the same. They were tinier.
yeah.
Even though I did have Catra, and that was fucking badass. Catra was awesome.
Catra, huh? I don't know
Um,
Catra.
She-Ra became, and I know it was targeted toward girls, but it became too like rainbows and
Yeah.
like little forest creature-y for me. So I always stuck with He-Man because I was a tomboy.
Mary Jean says Ariana, who looks
Yeah.
exactly like Brie Larson, doesn't she?
No,
Just
I
like
don't know.
a mini Brie Larson.
Yeah, she was
Um,
on a float on
she,
the
she,
parade.
she sings.
She sang some. I didn't watch it. I saw her dancing. I didn't hit the unmute button.
David texted me that Jimmy Fallon made a fucking fool out of himself on the. I didn't see it yet, but I cannot wait in my full Schadenfreude to watch that.
Oh,
Uh,
I was watching that parade with my mother, and he came on, he was talking, he was like talking just nonsense like I do. And I go, yeah, he's a drunk. That's all I said. I didn't even say his name. Yeah, he's a drunk.
can you imagine? You're the opposite of him in a way. Like, could you imagine needing that much attention that you can't even sit it
I
out
want
on?
zero attention. I hate even doing this show, as you know.
I know. You know.
So
Could you imagine that you can't even sit it out on Thanksgiving? You gotta fucking
I know.
keep it up. It's so you cannot get away from him. I want that Horatio Sands trafficking thing, which he clearly is part. I don't know how. It must be Lorne Michaels protect. He's very much a
There
part of
are
this.
people that have the power to keep that suppressed
Yeah,
that are
Lorne
involved.
Michaels is one of them. Yeah, I know. I haven't
Lauren
seen
Michaels
Horatio
is
Sands in
frightening.
8 years.
I think Lauren Michaels has a lot of secrets. I don't know
Absolutely, absolutely.
what side of the two-lane highway those secrets are on, but I
Yes,
think there's a lot of
absolutely, absolutely. Manny Faces, Jason, and yes, Merman is an Aquaman ripoff, but he's a bad guy. So they said, "Well, we'll make Merman. We'll make him. We'll make him a bad guy." I know. That's DC and Marvel. You can just go through all of them and pretty much find a kind of a analog of it all.
May I ask why
Um,
Skeletor was only like bones in his face?
I don't. It's a great name. It's a great name.
I
He's a
always
great
wanted him
cat.
and Evil Lynn to like have babies and get married. I don't think they ever did, right?
No,
They never
no,
made a new generation of evil.
you're not going to believe this, but and I haven't seen it in full yet, but the Kevin Smith He-Man on Netflix is fantastic. It's not it's very woke
Hmm.
at times, but the animation is
No, then no,
incredible.
I'm not doing it.
The other one, there was an early 2000s He-Man series on Cartoon Network, and that was great because they did it like edgier, where they didn't punch. If you noticed on the original one on Fox, they had no. It was very, very milk and cookie. It was very broadcast standards and practices, and they did a much edgier one in early 2000. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Golden Girls before. Thank you, Kevin Chester. Good to hear from you as well. Ram Man. Ram Man. By the way, you loved. Remember this one? Jim is truly outrageous.
I did like
Truly,
Jim.
truly, truly outrageous. Whoa. Now that was a heat. That was GI Joe and Transformers animation and production.
I had all of the Misfit dolls because the Misfit songs were better. Literally, they even tell you in the Gem song. But
Why don't you sing it for us?
with every doll came a tape, a cassette tape of like 3 songs,
Yes.
and the Misfits just had better music.
How phallic is Mechaneck, Chubby Pickle's favorite, and of course, Chubby Pickle likes Mechaneck and Ram Man, right? It's just so homoerotic. Zersky likes Ram Man, who looks like Juggernaut. Uh, that's everything you could. The He-Man verse is so homoerotic. Stratos, there's a Stratos in Final Fantasy, Jose. I didn't know that. It's a He-Man character. She-Ra Sheila, Tila. He combined Tila and Shira, and you get Sheila. Right? That's what Jason did there.
Shira did certainly blow at times.
I know, Jose. Tom Brady's like anorexic. He's got this crazy diet. Like, why do you, dude?
I like
Chill
that.
out.
I like the 2 minutes after Giselle divorces him, she gets pregnant with her karate instructor.
I know. It's like Allison Stern.
She makes
Right?
him retire. She makes him retire and then divorces him, and then gets knocked up by her instructor.
Yes, Ben. Elisa Jordana, Sara showed it to me. All it is a very quick shot of her at the hosting booth.
Yeah, she
And
tried.
one time. And no speaking lines, nothing. What season was it, Sarah?
I don't remember.
It was the
About 3
gay
or 4 seasons,
pride
probably.
parade or something?
I don't know. They have one of those episodes every season. I couldn't tell you how long ago it was. But she came in, either she was a try-hard and they sniffed her out,
Yes.
or she just offered nothing. Either way, she didn't get what she wanted.
She could be too old, too.
Yeah. Well, look
Right?
at what she's doing now.
Lying about her age.
You want to talk about going off the deep end? The people that she panders to on that show she does, the IRL streaming.
Yeah.
That's some really dark stuff.
It's almost like the bronies, the My Little Pony fairies, that crazy community of are they gay guys that follow
No, it's like a lot of incels.
Okay.
I hate using internet terms, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of what it is. But it's a lot of, and literally in the basement incels.
Right.
That
Brady's
they're
contract is
obsessed with her, and she will tease them, I think, from what I've seen, just enough to keep them on the hook. So they'll do anything for her.
Jose Villataro says Brady signed a 10-year, basically $40 million a year with Fox. 70% of readers in front office sports newsletter survey think he won't be on the job 3 seasons from now. Of course not.
Why would he even agree to do this? It's so stupid. He's got, I know, like he says there, 375 million, but that's over 10 years. And he doesn't even need the money.
You know how Bernie Sanders, and he's absolutely right, the have and the have-nots and the 1%. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, how much fucking endorsement money do you need? What are you doing with, what is it with those guys? Can you just say no to one, especially Peyton Manning? Holy shit. Who's more overexposed, Kevin Hart or Peyton Manning? In terms of just changing the channels,
I don't know.
go through 5 channels,
that's
you
your
can't
thing.
see.
I don't care.
Oh my God, how much fucking, can you just spread it around a little bit? Good Lord. It is so, Peyton Manning is everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. This guy's, why doesn't Ben Roethlisberger get those endorsements?
You know why?
I know why.
You talk about Deshaun Watson.
They have the same career. Why is Peyton Manning better than Roethlisberger? He's not. They're the same career.
You think about it.
I know why. I know. This is making Jason want to grab his Snake Mountain Castle Grayskull and set them up at the house. Apparently, Jason, I think that the new action figure guys like Todd McFarlane and stuff, these guys do some really amazing sculptings and renderings now. I bet you that I haven't seen them. They have new He-Man figures. They're probably amazing. If there's new shit.
I think what I've seen, yeah, they're pretty cool.
Okay, so Autobot, of course, has seen the entire new He-Man series. He says that Evil Lynn and Skeletor are expecting a kid.
Well, there you go.
There you go. No, Kevin Smith's stupidity is an abortion to mass. I know, Jason, that a lot of it is the woke stuff, but I'm talking about from what I've seen, the animation and some of the other stuff. I haven't seen the full product. I'm just talking about the presentation and the optics of it. That animation is crazy good, and every cartoon should use it. Gem in the earrings. Don't forget Mask. Oh God damn it.
Are we talking about Cher's mask?
No, he's talking about the animated series and the.
I'm sure.
Secret raiders who will multiply soon as they arrive. All those theme songs. Mask is the mighty power that can save the day. Mask. All those 80s after school cartoons have the best theme songs. Defenders of the Earth is my favorite. Correction, they have a child, but they're in a relationship.
No, they
Kevin
don't
Chester.
have a child, it says.
The brony is called Clapping or something, says Kevin Chester. Sounded very gay. Sarah, you follow that. Really, Brady's going to quit and then got divorced last season. He mostly retired for his kids. Everybody can use their kids whenever it's convenient. Peyton Manning getting Did he get a DUI? At least Peyton isn't getting DUIs. Well, if he probably has 15 drivers, right? I mean, why would you drive? Peyton Manning is in every commercial. Jason Kelsey. Yeah, now Jason Kelsey.
I
Mary
know.
Jean's right. The Kelseys, holy shit. And the Watts, the Watt brothers. You're going to be tired of them soon, too.
I'm already tired of one of them and his stupid little high kicks every time he does something out of roid rage on the field.
I can't wait for Kevin Hart to get taken down in that Diddy stuff, hosting those freak parties. Please, please.
Jason Kelsey looks like to me like he's gonna really, really get into this celebrity thing and like die of like a cocaine overdose at some point.
It does. It looks like he sleeps 1 hour a night, if that. There's Fuji Vice. Anatomically correct He-Man figures. Arm's dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
What a wise ass. What a wise ass that Brendan
The thought
is.
wets his whistle.
Brendan is responsible for a topic we're doing today. Should we start with that or should we?
Let's start something.
Okay, here we go. Everyone's favorite Hell's Angel and celebrity bodyguard Chuck Zito got arrested a couple days ago. So Brendan sent me this. And this guy is just fat. You know, he's 71. Still
I believe it.
You see this? Stop. See, where did he play? Chucky, what was it? Chucky something or other on Oz?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah. Can you believe he played an Italian?
Sopranos. I don't know how they missed it. Well, he would have been great as Tony's like head bodyguard, wouldn't he? He's so intimidating looking.
Sopranos. I'll take your word.
He's 71, and you're still terrified of him. Actor and former Hells Angels leader Chuck Zito flips out on New York City cops after he's busted for a bogus license plate. Actor and former Hells Angel biker Chuck Zito unleashed a foul-mouthed social media tirade against an NYPD cop who busted him for driving an allegedly phony license plate. But he told the Post he'll always back the blue. So he's a badge money. God, how can you be a badge money and he gets nothing but arrested? And I have Zito 71 was pulled over Monday afternoon while driving a 1976 Chevelle southbound on the Throgs Neck Expressway, where cops are conducting a ghost plate operation. According to law enforcement sources, when officers ran his tag, a dealer plate from Florida, they determined it was bogus and put Chuck Zito in handcuffs and took him away, sources said. Did you know he was at the Trump trial?
No.
See this picture right here?
Mm-hmm.
He was when Trump had the financial fraud trial. He was with him every day, walking in and out of the court. You never saw it televised, but I'm sure they've been friends for years. That whole score is MMA culture. And Zito, a longtime friend of Donald Trump, who appeared in court to support the president-elect during his New York City criminal prosecutions, characterized the arrest as outrageous and disparaged the cops who booked him in an Instagram post. I haven't followed Zito on Instagram. I'm gonna have to follow him. I'd love to have him on this show. The woman cop who arrested me. I'm handcuffed while she's counting my money. That was confiscated. Wallet, cell phone taken. Zito wrote, speculating foul sexualized language that she was a Kamala Harris supporter. God damn it. Cop behind me who put me in cuffs later said the policeman told him the cuffs were a little light for a license plate ticket. His response, I'm sorry I left my pink fuzzy cuffs at home. I wanted to knock him the fuck out. Zito claimed the post he showed the officers proper papers connecting the plates to his car was actually to no avail. Look at that thing. Right? That's something Richard Grieco would, Dennis Booker would drive.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is here in this shot. This isn't, I guess this is him getting around. Okay. Zito speculated the female officer who was arresting him was probably a Kamala Harris. Why is she a Kamala Harris supporter, Chuck? She's black, of course. So let's take that as racist. He's got track pants on. It should never have happened. That's my comment, Zito said Tuesday. I showed the officer who arrested me my registration and a fucking insurance card, the plate number, and she still didn't care. He said he spent 10 hours in custody before finally being sprung, that even the petty arrest, he still supports the NYPD. My thing is, I always fight for the cops. Yeah. My family has police officers in it. I just say don't hold all cops accountable for a few bad apples. Certainly, there's horrible cops, like there's horrible teachers and horrible everything else and horrible lawyers. And there's a lot of good ones out there, though. They take lives in their hands. If anyone knows, like I do agree with a New York City cop has, I would say, I'm from Suffolk County, and they get way more money than the New York City cops, which is ridiculous. And a New York City cop's job is probably 20 times harder than a Suffolk County cop's. It's not
Especially
even
now.
close. Especially now, just forever. In whether it's the Dinkins era, whether it's the crazy crime era in the 70s and the 80s, their job is so. I lived there and I saw the chaos going on around them. It's insane. So, the New York City cop is a way different species than a Suffolk County or Nassau County cop. There's a lot of good ones. I respect all the men in blue. I respect all the men in blue. Allegedly, a phony plate on Zito's Chevelle was appeared on at least 2 other vintage cars in his extensive collection, according to photos he's posted on social media. His car was towed away from the scene, while Zito said he got booked, fingerprinted, and took mugshots, according to TMZ. After waiting in a cell, in a cramped cell with 5 people, Zito said he was transferred to a separate room and left chained to a bench for 4 hours before finally being let go and got bailed out. According to, that was one hell of a day. I'll have my day in court. I'd love to see that. Televise that shit. Zito was charged with possession of a forged instrument. I've never heard of that. Do you know that crime? Forged instrument? I got a
No.
forged instrument, honey. Right fucking here. I could see him saying that, reading the thing. Oh, I got your fucking forged instrument right here. One of his founding members of the New York branch of the notorious Hells Angels motorcycle gang, Zito made his way into Hollywood as an actor and stuntman, appearing
Barely.
in movies along the likes of Angelina Jolie, and he was in Gia. Did you know that?
I'm not shocked.
He was riding and Schwarzenegger. Zito was bodyguard for Sean. This is my knowledge. I'm sure there's more where that came from. Sean Penn, Charlie Sheen, Pam Anderson.
Uh-huh.
Who am I forgetting?
I try not to think about Chuck Zito.
When we have Chauncey back on, I want to ask him how come Zito is never tapped to be the stern security. Who would F with anybody if he's walking around?
There's a lot of baggage there that I don't think even Howard wanted to be associated with.
You think he's scared of his?
There's still connections there that a lot of
Yeah.
people wouldn't want to have anything to do with, myself included.
That's a good point. Like Ronnie thinks he's in Sons of Anarchy, and didn't you say Kumia's brother pretends he was on Sons of Anarchy?
Joe Kumia.
What do they call him?
Oh my gosh, I'd have to think.
Joe Kumia,
Sam Crow Joe.
Who made that up?
That was from the
that's
that was
brilliant.
from the Opie and Anthony subreddit, the good old days.
Oh man, is there a chance that somebody who made that up is in this chat right now? God, that's so funny.
A lot of those people from that, that Reddit page splintered off into like they're in like the NLO audience. They're listening. They're making fun of Steel Toe. They're in the WATP stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Sam Crow is the motorcycle club on Sons of Anarchy. So I guess, I mean, I don't know this entirely. I'm just trying to put it together. So I guess this Joe Kumia is like obsessed with the show, and he so much so that he thinks he's in the he thinks he's on the show, or he thinks he's.
No, he has a Sons of Anarchy ring.
That's worse than having like a He-Man thing.
Yeah, it is. I'm not defending anything about him.
Oh, it's so funny. Sam Crow Joe, that's the greatest nickname ever. Whoever made that up, I salute you. Yeah, I have seen that Autobot. There was a cartoon called Cops. It's kind of like they're super cops. Yeah, I've seen that Autobot. I have seen that. It's actually good. It's actually really good. I think they use the same animation the Tick used. TJ Watt. Thanks, Josh Foster. Look at Josh is
Thank
back. This is a Dennis Miller reference. He wants to. Who my V Stiviano over here? She's the Donald Sterling's wife or mistress or whatever.
Okay.
Remember her? She had the
No.
seal complexion, the Bryan Adams face.
I know the reference, yes, but I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. Well, I probably could.
That might be line of the night. The world needs V Stiviano. I'm losing my voice because I'm sick and I'm laughing too hard.
Let's get to the stuff.
Okay, Jason says fighting crime in a future time. That's right, Jason. That's right. Chuck Zito is a poser. I don't know, Autobot. Yes and no with that. I don't know. When you hear some of this stuff, so I got some footage of Chuck Zito I want to show you. It relates to this a little bit, and I spent the last couple days going through this. That's a big thing now in New York, says Kevin Chester. Ghost cars to avoid. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. So they have the thing now where they take your license plate. So if you go through a toll and you just cruise through the toll, you have the wrong license plate, and so they can't get you. And there's you ever see a license plate where they have like a tint over it?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's so right.
God, I'm so happy we don't have to deal with toll roads here in Oregon. I couldn't even tell you.
I don't know who it was.
Where the nearest one is.
Is the bridge paid for yet? Isn't that supposed to pay? Are we not? How many years are we going to do this? Isn't that to pay for the bridge? Is it not done? Are we still doing this toll shit?
Yeah. Didn't you hear what your governor said the other day?
No.
There's a whole new toll, right? So she comes on and says, well, we were going to make it like 15% of something. Now it's only going to be 10. So you should be grateful. Okay.
Why do we
and you guys just allow it?
I know, Jose. He's got to tell you, I back the blue. I know. It's just you could predict that too. Like you could just spot them. You can't. There's nothing worse than badge bunnies. There's just nothing worse because you're trying to get something out of it. It's like Howard, right? You want preferential treatment. You don't support shit. You want favoritism. That's why you're doing it. You don't. In Zito's case, if he does have cops in his family, and I don't doubt that. Remember Barry Zito, the pitcher for the A's? He was actually on Howard twice. You want something out of it. You don't say that unless you want special treatment, right? I hate that too, Jose. I'm with you 100%. I've never needed a cop in my life. I don't think I've ever needed one. I don't think I've ever called one. I don't think I've ever once.
I have.
For what?
I had summer before last, summer wellness checks I had to call in. And I've had to call for suspicious people or outside my residence. What else? That's pretty much it.
Have you given any more thought to the FBI?
No, shut up. It's stupid.
Come on. It's not even
worth it's not even worth talking about.
If there was a home invasion and you answered the door in an FBI windbreaker, they would go. It would be Carl Lewis time running away. You answer the door in an FBI windbreaker, all your problems would be solved.
I'm not acknowledging your dumb joke. Let's go.
It's not dumb. It's not
really dumb.
It's not dumb. Diane D goes, I never got the mystique. I don't think anyone's used mystique and Chuck Zito in the same sentence before. Must be an East Coast. It is an East Coast thing. He seems like a big Ginza greaseball hothead. He is, Diane. You're right. All those bridges and tolls, Autobot arms. You see the Morgan Lofting passed away. She was the voice of Baroness. Oh shit, I didn't see that. I can't believe you know the name. So Baroness is God, that's my cartoon crush on G.I. Joe. That's crazy. Got arrested. Good. What an asshole. He got arrested. Kevin Chester. Brendan says, I'm surprised Zito didn't make the same ham-handed attempt at a bribe wannabe mafioso. It's giving a Hell's Angel and a mafioso wannabe at the same time, which is an interesting combination. Almost like in Bronx Tale when they have that brawl with the Hells Angels tried to invade the Bronx restaurant, and Chaz Palmintero's that famous line goes, "Now you just can't leave," and he blocks the door, and all the mafiosos come out with bats and leave him bloodied. And he's both. Zito seems to be both. This is the exact opposite of aging gracefully, says Brendan. I got something you can forget right here, pal. I love that so much. I wonder what Shipwreck does for a living post G.I. Joe, says Jason. We know what Sergeant Slaughter did. I don't know if people realize this with G.I. Joe, because I'm such a big fan of Steve Rogers and the Captain America verse. But G.I. Joe is basically Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. That it's a Marvel animation production, and they were getting off, and they tried to do this cool guns and military thing in the 80s. But G.I. Joe is Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, the Serpent Society is Cobra, Commander, and Red Skull, and Baron Zemo, and Dr. Faustus, and Hydra is Cobra. Who are we kidding? All those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, that should have been Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. versus the Red Skull and Hydra and Crossbones and the Dreadnoks and fucking what's his name? Batroc, and the Batroc's brigade is the Dreadnoks. It's the same thing. It so pisses me off. We never got a Captain America animated series during that time. Yes, Pell. Joe Kumi was on. How did that go, Sarah?
The
What was
People's
deal with
Court.
that? People's Court.
He had his gig canceled by a club owner due to people from the Opie and Anthony subreddit calling the club owner and sending him all of Joe Kumia's racist rants on Facebook. So he was suing the club owner for the pay, because apparently in the contract it said that he would be paid regardless.
It was, they
I think
called him.
I think he won.
They called him pedo, and they said he was in the Klan.
Like he would,
right?
yes, like he would spit in children's mouths. It's really, really gross.
But he is a piece of shit, though, right? I mean, that's kind of true. In Opie and Anthony's fans apparently turned on them in the same way we turned on Howard, and maybe more vicious. I never
Much more vicious.
I never visited their Reddit, but I heard it was a crazy
Great
place. And it
was the best of times.
How did it get taken down, and why?
I think the person that ran it just took it down, but Kumia reported it. Joe Kumia reported it. Yeah, it was fun to watch. It wasn't fun to be a part of, because you were really doing some stuff that was right on the edge.
I respect the number respectfully. How often were you on it, and did you post?
I rarely ever posted, but I probably checked it about every other day.
Okay. My favorite G.I. Joes were Snake Eyes. It's not very original to say that. But he's the best. I don't know. Yeah, Zartan's I like a lot of guys on Cobra better than G.I. Joe, like Storm Shadow and Zartan and Firefly. I liked Snake Eyes, Dusty. I don't know why I love Dusty. And Quick Kick, and I guess Spirit a little bit. I did like Flint for some reason. I loved Scarlet and Lady J. God, I can go on and on with that show. The new guys kind of sucked, like Beachhead, and I don't know. Beachhead was. Like,
I know nothing about G.I. Joe.
They started to get they couldn't think of more things to do. There was a great moment with Zito, says Andrew Jenkins, where the Hells Angels made him correct the record because Howard was building him up as a top guy. The Zito, Andrew, I think I have footage of this. I think you're going to see something along these lines.
I always thought of Zito as like the Great Value Mafia. Like he really tried, but he knew a guy who knew a guy.
Right. Ralph, Zito didn't punch Ralph, right? He counseled Ralph after he got punched at scores. Yeah, Ralph got hit a few times there. I'm sure Chauncey's got stories and stories and stories and stories and stories. We haven't even remotely tapped into what he can do. F, Marry, Kill, Sarah, G.I. Joe, He-Man, or Thundercats?
Okay, I'm gonna marry Masters of the Universe. You
Let
got to
me
go
say
back.
something before you
You
start.
got to go back.
Watch what you say, because your cartoon cat, Camilla, who is in our thumbnail, is Panthro's daughter. So
Okay,
watch
can
what
you
you
go
say.
back, please?
Okay.
Okay. F Thundercats and kill G.I. Joe.
Is that incest?
Yeah.
Kill G.I. Joe. Oh, that's tough. I don't know.
I never got into G.I. Joe. I didn't care.
Oh, I loved it. It was the if you go watch the animation, it was incredible for the time. It was I wish cartoons looked good today as good as that. Incredible. That whatever they use, the detail, and I don't understand. They are so lazy now. They're
Well,
afraid to draw
it's
detail.
well now it's all like SpongeBob animation. It's so
Yes.
Ren and Stimpy animation. It's weird. I'm not
They're
into it at all.
lazy.
I shouldn't be. I'm
They're
46,
too
but
they're too lazy to animate it. They can't draw detail anymore. It's just
yeah.
crazy. It's horrible. And kids really missed out. Those cartoons are better. And this is not some bitter old man talking. They're better. They were better. They were made by better writers and artists and stuff. Zito walked in. Okay, so let's go to Zito, right? So let's see some moments. Chitara, Tila, and Baroness. That is tough. That is tough, Jason. Never see Zito's self-defense video. I have not, Zersky, but I couldn't find. Apparently, Zito, there's surveillance footage of him getting arrested at Foxwoods, which I could not find, and he claims that it's out there. Barry Zito was a conquest of Alyssa Milano. I forgot about that, Jason. Alyssa Milano is a total fucking sports groupie. Holy shit. Her and she's such a baseball groupie. I don't know how many Dodgers, and you have to play in California in some way. Remember Halle Berry and fucking David Justice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, PC says he talked about how he wanted to pick out a cop when he stopped him for having a front license plate in New York. And there's just tons of these stories. Greg Shells. Greg Shells has nothing on Sarah Shells, Melvin. You're right. Congestion pricing. If you drive below 60, is that a real rule, Mary Jean? That got instituted? Was it Bloomberg that put that
Yeah,
out
that's
there?
about right. I think
Holy
this is a
crap.
new thing.
$9.
No, but hey, you need to be grateful because they were going to make it 15.
My friend said that
Your governor is worse than mine.
my friend had a good conspiracy. He thinks that New York puts their own cars on the road in Manhattan and parks them so people can't park. So you're so inconvenienced that you'll either illegally park and get towed or fined and they get all your money, or you won't park. You'll just be so scared you'll keep driving around forever and then you'll use it. So that he feels that New York actually employs their own cars to take up spaces so civilians can't park.
Mm.
I believe him. I believe
Mhm.
him. I'll take Big CD if you got it. I'm scared of cops, says Holden. Like to wait to see. Didn't they do a bit where Gary was? Yeah, Gary did something loco. Welcome, sir. Gary did something with his PBA card. Do you remember that, Sarah? He came in and he was late, and there was some hubbub over his
Oh,
PBA card.
it's a wisp of a memory.
Pro Bowlers Association. Yes, Jason, that's the card. Yeah, he's right. That definitely happened. Yeah, Howard made him look like a superhero, and it's homoerotic.
I hated that entire era where it was like Chuck Zito was like the god,
Yeah,
and that's kind of what really first started the
well,
turning the dial for me.
you'll see it. Be prepared to get repulsed again. I don't remember what the
I'm
hell the
sure.
card. Yeah, that's you, Loco. You're right, Gary. It was something about Gary was late for the show, and he had some story about his Police Benevolence Association card. And you're absolutely right. Kumi's tribute band. His brother's actually a good musician, I have to say. I'm not gonna take
He's a
that
good
away
guitar
from him.
player.
He sings okay too.
Yeah, those gigs that were canceled by the Opie and Anthony subreddit were 2U gigs.
No, Bono and U2 would hate him so much. Like, there's no more opposite human beings than Bono and Joe Cumia. Like, he would hate his guts. He couldn't be more opposite. It's a weird band for them to imitate.
I read Bono was a billionaire, and all I have to say is I
I
think I
believe
made
that.
him. I think I made him a billionaire, like in high
I believe
school.
that.
I bought everything U2.
There it is in Distro. Snake Eyes did look the best. Jose Baroness and Destro fucked. Beach, I get you Beachhead, honey. Now, Autobot, I get it. Beachhead has a cool design and stuff, but it was hey, Kathy Scott, welcome.
Hi, Kathy.
Welcome. October Guard,
You're doing
Autobot,
good.
is after they ripped off the Winter Guard from Marvel, right? Marvel has the Winter Guard with Dark Star and what's his name? Red Guardian. It's complete. It's all these analogs. But G.I. Joe was Marvel at one point. It was because it was like a comic book that was Marvel based, and the animation was Marvel animation. If you go back and watch those shows, Gem included. When Zito was on Stern, he said he wanted Transit Cop. Yeah, it's everyone. Right. God, I couldn't PCPB. There was so much of that I had to like settle for things. It's like you can go on and on. Kathy Scott, we can't wait to have you back for a Jump Street watch along. G.I. Joe movie was good too. That was actually on network TV. It did not come out in the theater, unlike Transformers. Snake Eyes got screwed in that movie. Did not get enough screen time. The opening, that pissed me off. I remember watching that and then watching 21 Jump Street right after that. The G.I. Joe movie was on. It was on WPIX in New York. And after that, I went to Fox and Jump Street was on. It was a great night. I'll never forget it. Alyssa Milano's going through the Italian baseball players. Yes. 87. Yeah, something like 87. Yes, 87 is when that came out. Carl Pavano. Okay. Starts in January 2025. My uncle's on the job. They call it the job, Voltron. Voltron is due. So here's Chuck Zito and some moments akin to what we're talking about here. This is Chuck Zito discusses wild. I just put wild stories and let me go to the Sara fold. It's called Sara's Back, and we talk about this all the time. You ever go by like a hair salon and they put on the front, Lorraine's back, and you're supposed to know that this legendary hair designer is back, and all the broads in that area somehow know this Lorraine, and that's what it reminded me of, putting Sara's back on a folder. It's always Lorraine or Melinda's back. You've seen that, right?
I have seen that, yes.
Does Oregon have hair salons?
We don't have electricity, so how could we have a hair salon?
Classic arm.
Uh-huh.
Where's the Sara folder? Okay. Okay, here we go. Chuck Zito. What do I do with fucking Chuck here? What am I doing here? Okay, Chuck Zito. Right here. Here we go.
Story. What was it like when you were in a Japanese jail?
I was in Japanese prison for 4 months.
4 months.
Why were you in Japanese prison?
Well, actually, I was in Japan when this whole bust happened in '85. And I was with John Jett and Bon Jovi. They were out there.
So he was the bodyguard for Bon Jovi and Joan Jett in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember Altamont with the Rolling Stones?
Yes.
They hired Hell's Angels or something to. So I guess that was the thing they did. Like all these rock and roll stars would hire the Hell's Angels. I guess because they're the most intimidating.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why.
Yeah, and this was before Bon Jovi was anything. I mean, they came back to the States. They became very big.
So this is probably back in the 80s.
85.
Okay.
And then they had a big raid against the Hells Angels in the United States, and they raided my home.
Right.
And I was with actually 20 Hells Angels. We were out there to vote on a Japanese charter.
Right.
But they never made it, so.
You mean?
What a crazy story. He goes to Japan to bring the Hells Angels to Japan, and then his home gets raided while he's in Japan. That's a crazy story. It doesn't sound like he's bragging.
You were thinking of starting a Hells Angels branch in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Right. So do you think they arrest you to keep you from starting a new branch?
No. They had a big nationwide sweep for a couple of years. They had this investigation, and I was one of them.
Right.
That they raided my home. So I surrendered to the American Embassy out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to get caught on the plane.
I see.
Show good faith and surrender.
Right.
So they handed me over to Japanese police, and they were supposed to put me on a plane the next day to fly back to the United States.
Right.
And they put me in there for 4 months waiting to be extradited.
Wow.
I was in Japanese prison for 4 months.
Why do you think they kept you in the Japanese prison as opposed to just taking you right out of there?
Because that's the treaty they had between Japan that you have to extradite people.
So would you say to the and Japanese
so they just
prison?
Suckered me when I went over there. They said, "We'll send you back tomorrow." It's okay, cool.
Is Japanese prison 10 times worse than American prison?
And the worst prison in the United States is like a hotel compared to Japan.
Why is it so bad in Japan?
But it wasn't bad for me because I was locked down 23 hours a day.
Okay.
So, and I was separated from the...
How funny would it be if, who was president at that time? Bush?
What year was it?
This is like 06, 07.
Yeah.
Bush, right? If Bush had a free Chuck Zito, like Brittany Griner, and he went crazy trying to get Chuck Zito out of a Japanese prison. That's pretty crazy, though. 4 months that's hell on earth. This doesn't sound like I believe everything he's saying, actually.
These stories, like this would be my excuse to like go do something else around the house.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with you.
When Chuck Zito sits down for an hour interview, I'm out.
So Holden says Gary was told to show his PBA card, and he said, "Oh, my uncle's on the job. I have an uncle on the job." And when he got pulled over, and it didn't fly. When people
is that the guy who gave him chocolate?
Cops. So you don't think cops know? Like when you have a PBA card, there's only one reason you have it, and there's only one reason you show it. It's not about donating to them. It's not about anything. You want to get out of shit. You want to be let off. There's no other purpose for it. And they know that. Cops know, and they see it, and they roll their eyes, and they probably get it all the time.
Like Richard Murdaugh had a badge that he would put on his dashboard.
Oh, did he really? On the dashboard?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you there's days where cops pull over, say a cop pulls over like 20 people, and there's like 18 of them have a PBA card.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got it. There's probably fake ones.
Rest of the prisoners, because it was all Japanese prisoners.
Right.
But they don't, like the jails here, you watch TV, you play pool, you do courses.
Right.
Over there, you're locked down. They have like a foot wide mat down the whole corridor, the whole tier.
Right.
And you have to walk on that mat, single file. You can't talk to each other.
Wow.
Nothing. No.
But don't they serve that fabulous sushi?
Yeah, is it like going to Nobu?
Is it like Nobu, free Nobu?
I don't know. I was living on white bread and the water a day.
Nope.
How great would Howard in prison be? How great would that be if something happened where he had to just something along, like you look at if P. Diddy's in prison, right? You think how great, what a great what if scenario to see that fucking never done a day's work in his life. You couldn't be more like privileged and charmed life and not have to do it. How great would it be to see him suck it in prison? That would be so great.
Literally?
Just I mean, even if he was in protective custody, it would be so glorious to see what he'd have to do in prison.
He would be Beecher in the first 2 episodes of Oz.
Oh, I know. You love fucking
I love Oz.
Chris Maloney. What is with you and Chris fucking Maloney?
Chris Keller was my favorite character on Oz.
Now there's a guy who thinks he's from New York, but he's from
of course.
St. Louis. He thinks he's from. I told you I saw him in Starbucks one time in the West Village, and he walks in in a kimono, like this fucking bathrobe, and he's with his friend. I thought he was gay. I was sure he was gay because I was in the West Village, and he's wearing that shit. And the Starbucks employee was really harried. He was really just not having a good day. And New York got it really. You can see this guy's, working at Starbucks, probably just cannot get ahead, and it's very crowded. It's very just like, and I guess Chris Maloney felt the guy gave him an attitude. I'm right behind Chris Maloney. I didn't engage him for some reason. I usually do. I would always, and it was something weird about his vibe. And I'm listening and I'm eavesdropping on. He turns to his friend and goes, "Hey, I didn't fucking do anything." I think he has a New York accent. He goes, "I didn't fucking do anything." He doesn't like his job. Quit. That's what I would do. I just walk out. I quit. And he just had no empathy for the guy, working. It's such an expensive place to work in a place. And Is there ever a good day at a Starbucks in Manhattan as an
No,
employee? Is there ever a good
no,
day?
it would be a nightmare.
And yet you need them. Somebody's got to do the job so Maloney can get his fucking frappuccino that takes 3 hours to make as I'm getting black coffee behind them. Would
Hmm
have taken 10 seconds.
I didn't eat the stuff they were having, man. It was like fish heads and
Fucking
all kinds of
octopus.
shit, man.
Fish heads.
Shit crawling around in the fucking soup and shit. I said, fuck that, man.
So you literally lived for 4 months on bread and water.
Bread and water,
No kidding.
literally.
And you probably lost a lot of weight.
No, actually, I gained weight because I was training every day. I was doing 1,000.
Gay anorexic Howard, the first thing he thinks of is, oh, did you lose weight? Did you lose weight? He just, he always goes to that. His mind's always in anorexic mode.
Have you ever
push-ups.
played it? I'm jumping topics here. We'll cover this at some other point. You ever played the Ren and Stimpy interview where he talks about underage girls?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
guy, the John Fruglaski, whatever.
You played it?
No, we haven't
And-
played it here. Billy West is in it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Billy West did obviously the voice and the two of them had this huge argument, and Billy
Mhm.
West got really pissed at Howard for putting him on the spot like that. And it's a good thing to revisit sometime. But that dude's a huge psycho pedo, like huge,
Mhm.
like right down with like the Dan Schneider stuff. I think they brought him up there in the documentary. I think. Did he come up there? He had to have.
I have that video saved in my saved videos on my YouTube channel. If you
Yeah.
want me to send it to you, but can I quote it real quick? It takes 2
Sure.
seconds. The guy's talking about something, and he goes, "Yeah, she's underage, Howard." Howard goes,
Oh God.
It's really bad.
And he wasn't being ironic. He was serious. Like
It was
that
an
kid
instant reaction.
Yes, I believe it.
a day and sit-ups.
What did
That's
you
all
do?
I did.
What did you do in your cell all day for 4 months? Did you just sit there?
Talk to yourself.
Do they have any books in English that you can read or something?
Actually, they had a couple. I had some sent in.
Right.
So my wife at the time was sending my books in and all. So I was allowed to get some.
I didn't realize he was married. Does he have kids? I can't remember.
I'm sure. Now, imagine you're his wife. I know you really like doing that, but can you imagine? Can you take him seriously? Look at how he's dressed. Look at that dye job on top. The
Yeah.
chain, the 25-pound chain around his neck. A shirt with his own name on it.
He's kind of like a pro wrestler in that he's trying to maintain
He
a
wants to be.
persona for the rest of his life. Like he's almost like perpetually 53. You know, like he's 71, but he sort of doesn't. He never looked young, but now he's trying not to look old, and he can't. You know, you knew a guy like. I think you would look at a guy like him and you would go, what is a guy like Chuck Zito going to be like at 70 something? Is he still going to be doing this shit with the motorcycles and the MMA and the tough guy stuff? And as you can see, he is. He's fucking, going at it with cops at 71. And isn't it time to kind of wrap that up at this point? You know, you're sort of like.
I think a letter a week. And you're allowed to get a book.
Wow.
So
wow. Now, why wouldn't they let you out into?
Brendan can't go three without a wrestling comment, Sarah.
I love it though.
Virgil's the only bodyguard that I recognize. Brendan's guaranteed that him and Ted DiBiase, he will mention one of the two of them in every other post. Ted, you're guaranteed to get a Ted DiBiase reference out of Brendan.
Poor lonely Virgil.
The regular population.
That's the rules they have there. They don't let any foreigners in with the prisons in case something happens, I guess.
But sounds awful.
Meanwhile, I was twice the size of all these guys. These guys were small, but then they had some big like sumo guys as guards.
There was it's obviously they showed him Zito walking in to the Stern Show with Ronnie. And if you didn't know anything about it, you'd be like, okay, that's the bodyguard and Ronnie's the guest. But Zito is the guest and Ronnie's security. He must have been twice the size. Like could you imagine if Chuck Zito just decided something pissed him off? Who's going to stop him in that show? Who could possibly even slow him down? He would look at you. Like, I'm not trying to be like, but he has that thing where you just like the kind of the swagger and the optics, like he just has a thing. Like, could you imagine how great would it be if he just crushed Ronnie's skull and his fucking it would be so glorious.
Didn't fuck around there.
Right. Man, no TV, huh?
TV. You're lucky if you had a radio there, man. Forget about it. They had nothing.
Wow.
They had nothing. And
So
they used to play in the morning.
So what do you do? You go insane? I mean, you're just staring at a
Bulldog is a good line. He goes, another reason I hate the Japs. For Howard.
wall.
Basically. It was a 6x8 foot cell, and you were there 23 hours a day.
Brendan has a good point. Just like wrestling, Zito's wearing a shirt with his own name emblazoned on it.
Yeah.
Who does that? It's true. Who can get away with wearing your own name on it?
Hogan's his new shirt is he's always wearing like a Hulk Hogan surf shop t-shirt. It's an actual business in Florida, like in Tampa or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's a shop you walk into. It's all Hogan merchandise. It's so pitiful.
The weirdest thing I ever saw Depp wise, I'm going to put this on our page on our YouTube channel soon. Depp was on Larry King, and Depp tries to be like, he has that thing where he goes, stay humble or be humbled. And he has that shirt, so he tries to be like, modest, and he doesn't brag, and he's trying to be, he really tries to be self-deprecating, and he tries to conduct himself in a way where it's anti-celebrity. But yet, cut to this Larry King interview, and we're in his office, and on the wall, and I think you've seen this, is nothing but collages of himself, his own personal office of himself with plunging neckline shirts and his shirt off. And I'm telling you, it was as soon as, and it's everywhere, and it's an entire wall, and it's the opposite of like modesty. And I couldn't believe, and I'm the only one that seems to harp on this. I don't.
Yes.
Could you possibly fathom on your own wall having a picture of yourself in that way?
I have no pictures of myself anywhere in my home.
I don't either.
I see enough of it when I walk by the mirror.
And Depp, of all people, I could, there's a Rolling Stone cover where he's wearing like this blue dress shirt, and it's buttoned down, like 5 buttons down. He's on the cover of, I think it was Details or Vanity Fair, and he's shirtless. And
was it Rolling Stone?
Right in front of where I'm like, who would do that? And Mr. Modesty.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you in on something. You send that screenshot to me at least once a month.
Do I?
Like you're telling me this for the first time.
I'm getting senile.
I know you are.
Then he took you out for an hour and he put me in a cage outside.
Wow.
All the other inmates would just look at me, and a lot of people say, Rocky.
Rocky.
And I was
Rocky.
And it was pretty wild. I mean, I could laugh about it now, but it was pretty wild.
Good then.
It wasn't good then.
Listen, no disrespect, but do you ever break down and cry when something?
Well, Loco says, I guess it's the Hells Angels, I guess, or maybe cops. Oh, I'm sorry, cops. Out here in Arizona, cop family members have stickers on their car. They put it on their rear window. They try that in New York too, Loco, and I think cops are not impressed by it. I think they're jaded by it all. They really do.
I think my mother's out in the living room watching Cops.
Really?
Yes.
Like
I hear a police siren. Yeah,
a YouTube knockoff version of it, or like the real?
No. The Cops episodes,
version.
like supersized episodes of Cops, are on YouTube.
Chubby wants to know, how far from the goal are you, Sara?
Oh, see, I look at it this way: to everybody who is wonderful enough to donate, I count every dollar that you donate. I don't do the steel toe math where 10 out of the 20 you donate goes toward the goal. So we're going to call.
Yeah, whoa.
Listen, let me finish. Let me finish.
People who don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay, let me finish, and I will. So every dollar you donate goes toward the goal. I'm calling it now as we're close enough. So we made it, officially made it. We're good. Steel toe is Aaron Imholt. Most people who listen to us know what we're talking about.
Thank you, everyone who donates. And it truly supports the cause. They upped StreamYard, I think, right, or something, or the Bon Jovial tip and everything. And your video game money. You gotta get your video game money.
This is how it works. We need $300 a month for this to go forward because of stuff you need in your life, right? That's as far as I'm going to go with that.
You mean
the subscriptions
she means medication.
Yes. The subscriptions that I pay out of my pocket for this show, the goal doesn't cover. So, and it's not a huge deal, no big deal. But yeah, and people that come on our show, the rare months that we are able to get over 300 by a good amount, that's when those people get paid. So
if you compare us to the other grifters, they do shows simply to collect and beg for money. I'm an artist. I wish I didn't have to, but you do have to support, and so it is very uncomfortable. But they're, the Stuttering John stuff. You see them; they're all over YouTube. That whole fucking dabbler community, and there's one grifter after the next, and and it's not even them. It's only them. It's the Rogan people. These guys have podcasts where they come on and talk about there's no product. They talk about themselves begging for money the whole time and never feel uncomfortable, and it's this crazy massive sense of entitlement with no shame. And it is, they literally, why this guy does 3-4 shows a week, they're begging for money. The whole point is to beg for money. They're not giving you a product. The product is themselves, to promote themselves, to talk. Like
some of those shows, though, that do well, they are pretty good shows.
But
They
they
get
don't
me through my workday. I'm not
we
going to
have a
rag on them like you
product.
do.
We have a specific product we're doing. This is not. This is. I'm not going to come on here and talk about myself. Could you imagine for 3 hours promoting yourself? Like, I just don't.
You do
So
this show when you mentally can do this show.
yeah, that's
So
also true too.
there are some months where you will do 2 shows. Well, that sounded really bad. I know it wasn't what I thought it was just now.
I have my microphone all the way up, and you still heard that?
Yes. It sounded like a little queef in your drawers. But yeah, I mean, we do as much as we can. I mean, and that's probably why we don't make as much as some of those other shows do.
In a perfect
Um,
world, I would do a few a week, or I would do, but it really is. I sound like a wussy. Sound like a dainty dandelion, but there are weeks where I just don't want to, and I don't crave attention too much. And it really is. If you don't have it, you got to really rev yourself up, and I have to amplify myself because I crash right after this, and I'm so bipolar that I can't trust the mood to rise to the occasion. But I really, in my heart of hearts, I wish I could do multiple shows a week. And sometimes I
you
do, including Patreon. Sometimes you get in 6 hour. I mean, I did a 6 hour and 20-minute 21 Jump Street episode with the help of you and David.
You also, and I more toward the beginning of the show, I wanted to strangle you for doing this, but I've just come to accept that it's what you do and it's your personality. A lot of these other shows, you've got a super chat to get your comment read. You will go through the entire chat and read the comments.
Yeah, because I mean, I know what it's like
I'm
to
not
be on the other.
done. Hold on. That also keeps you from, probably another 100 a show possibly. But that's just you. You're very unselfish. And the last thing you think about is goals and money. And you would do this for free if you could. I know things about you that not a lot of people know. You're not able to do this for free. You'd
Harvey
love
Levin
to,
knows.
but you just can't.
No, but yeah, medication is the reason. I mean, I said it before, and it's not, and I'm
And
not even.
therapy
No, go ahead.
too.
Yeah, therapy and medication. That's exactly what that is. Anything extra, that's exactly what it is.
And there are
I
months,
think I've said that
I
on
know
here
this,
before.
despite what the news tells me, this economy sucks. And I know not everybody can do it. If we have a month where we get $60, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. But I know what it's like to be on the other side. I know what it's like to be in the comments and write something so brilliant, I mean, that you couldn't never get that moment back. I'm just kidding. Get that moment back again. You want it to be read. I think these people deserve it to be read. They take the time to listen. They write it out. There's some killer jokes on there. I'd be stupid not to read it. I can't imagine you'll only read it if there's money attached to it. You could read the great. Here's what I hate as I say this. There are grifters who steal jokes from the chat and act like they said it if there's not money attached to it. And they don't announce who said it. They act like they don't know the person. They go, oh, somebody in the chat said Virgil wasn't a body. They're looking at the name. Say the fucking name. Somebody in the chat. How arrogant is that? But the fact they don't they steal jokes and comments from the chat without acknowledging who did it.
Yeah. And that's another reason too.
I'm sure Shuli does that.
I'm not going to get into my feelings on this, but you also were spending a lot of time doing stuff for free.
Oh, okay, I
And
know what you mean.
it was keeping you had to move on to a side gig to get by.
I know what you're saying.
So this is now your full-time gig
Bon Jovi
instead of
read
just
me
a
the
side
riot
gig.
act. Bon Jovi read me the Penal Colony riot act for that.
I've read you riot acts before and you ignored them for 3 years. So
Brendan says, when I lived in Virginia, the captain at the local precinct gave me his business card with the Monopoly get ahead of jail free image printed on the back. The key is to staple it to your registration. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Virginia's an interesting
Saying it without
state.
saying it.
I like Virginia. Your Chubby Pickle is awesome. I agree with you. Like I said, Bulldog says he'd probably be great in prison. He already locked up. It doesn't look like he'd go outside. He eats the same thing every day. You're right, Bulldog. You're right. What's the difference, right? The 17th Squabble Lane. That's well said.
Like that's going on.
Does Chuck Zito cry?
Will Chuck Zito cry in a bad situation like that? And no one would fault you for doing it.
No, I've cried sometimes at night there. You know? Yeah, just saying, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's a sad, it's sad, yeah.
And, especially things going on now, my niece and all that stuff.
Right.
Hey.
You're a human being. Some people think you're not. Some people think you're Superman.
Well, I do worry, though, about this whole thing of not really wanting to get close to a woman.
Like an asshole. You know what,
Robin is disturbed.
Melvin says, Sarah, he is one bad mofo. Look at that look, the hair, the muscle shirt, the chain. God damn. You're splashing in those goddamn panties.
I slid right off my chair.
Paninis?
God, it's
I've been with some girls, and
hey, someone told me
Bulldog, you got a great knowledge of the show. Oh my, Lou Bolero over here. He's the husband of shit. Was it Amy Fisher? Maybe Artie got close with this. Is it Amy Fisher? Or
yeah. Lou, yes, that's his name. I watched that movie. It was so grossed out.
He was married. He got so PCB 23 says he was married. He got arrested for domestic abuse. He told the judge he would do jail time over taking anger management classes. Holy shit!
What are you going to learn in an anger management class? Count to 10 and take a deep breath.
Has it ever worked for anybody?
No. I think if you need to take an anger management class, there's other issues you got to be dealing with.
Yeah.
Get to the root of it.
Look, and you can fake it. Like, who couldn't fake contrition in an anger management class just to get through it? Who couldn't do that? Obviously, you could. You know what I mean? Like, there'd be no. What accountability? Like, what is the metric for anger in those classes? Has anyone ever been to an anger management class? I want to go in there to see what it is. I really do. I want to ask a judge to send me. I'm as angry as anybody. I could definitely use one.
You explode. I simmer and boil over, but I don't tell anybody that I'm boiling over. It's all internal.
Don't you think my anger is productive? Like the cowboy rant in the beginning of this. Don't you think it's kind of productive?
No.
I played basketball angry, and that playing sports angry is some of the best thing you can do. Basketball and football, you can do your best work angry. The other sports, you really can't will anything. Like baseball is all just hand-to-eye coordination. You can't play baseball angry. I don't know how that would go.
I'm going to skip in the chat real quick. Autobot, have a good night, Autobot. He's got to go watch Survivor Series. That's what I'm going to be doing after this. CM Punk, the love of my life in the wrestling world. He is going to be wrestling tonight.
Okay, I'll try to. Okay, Autobot is one of the biggest pop culture I've ever files I've ever seen in my life. There's nothing he doesn't follow. I can't think of one facet of show business that he's not immersed in. Comic books,
That's
wrestling,
what we do in the Pacific Northwest.
I know.
Banged 3 girls in a 4-hour span. Is that correct?
Well, it's kind of tough to get, doctor.
Isn't it true you were arrested because you refused to take your jacket off?
Okay, here's another arrest. So this is the Hell's Angels thing we're talking about. So Sarah, can we all agree? Sarah, Shawn Michaels. Sorry.
You have a womanly cough.
It's a women orgasm.
That is the greatest entrance. It's so cheesy. I'll have to play it at some point and hope we don't get a strike.
Yeah, Andrew Jenkins. We're gonna do a Rogan versus Howard series. I don't think people are aware of some of the stuff. Like I said, he got accused of plagiarizing, ripping off Howard on Fear Factor, and he started to show off shaming Rogan for it. And like I said, Rogan's big thing is he thinks he's the comedy police. So whether it's Carlos Mencia or Dennis Leary, he's always trying to go after the comedy thieves. Meanwhile, everybody in his circle are the biggest hack thieves in the world in that fucking Rogan verse. And that's the worst thing you could say to Rogan, is to accuse him of stealing. And I think that's one of the reasons. And there's so many. I can't wait to do it, actually.
I enjoy Joe Rogan, but I will never forgive him for Brendan Schwab.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Like Andy Kindler, he's the Jar Jar Binks of news radio.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of tough to get, doctor.
Isn't it true you were arrested because you refused to take your jacket off? Is that true?
Yes.
How does that happen to you? How does that happen to you?
I don't know, man. That was happening at Foxwoods Casino. Yeah. I went to go see the Vander Holyfield John Ruiz fight.
Take your jacket.
I had my Hells Angel jacket on at the time when I was a Hells Angel.
Yeah.
And
so Jose says Zito has a daughter and he got divorced. Well, this is 2008-ish. So he's divorced here. So I assume, it's whatever, 17 years ago or maybe 20 years ago.
I got there for an hour. I was signing autographs and taking pictures with everybody. Right. Then I went to the box office to get my tickets because HBO invited me because I was still doing Oz at the time. And they used to invite all the Oz and Sopranos and Sex and the City people. So I turned around and could walk into the arena, and there was 4 guys with suits on. He says, "You're going to have to take that jacket off before you come in here." That's what he talked about.
Because it was a motorcycle.
Yeah, he said no Hells.
That the thing about Queens. There's nothing worse than an old queen. That adage. Sorry. So this is what Vinny says about Chuck Zito. There's nothing worse than an aging rebel. I agree with that, Vinny, big time.
I do too.
The worst he can do these days is get a ticket for shitting himself in public. Bro still does MMA. I'll give him that. But training, looking for the big paycheck. I know it's almost like he still harbors this thing in the back of his mind. I'm still gonna be a prize fighter. A lot of guys still think that day hasn't come yet. He could be like 75 and.
Angels allowed. I said I didn't see no sign when I walked in here.
Right.
I said I was just here for an hour signing autographs. It was okay. Now you're telling me to take my jacket. I said I'm not taking it off.
But isn't the Hells Angels jacket almost artwork?
What's Sarah?
Just take your goddamn jacket off.
Just take it off. I mean, they're worried about it's a valid concern, and I'm all for when people watch boxing or MMA or a Rocky movie, everyone suddenly turns into a fighter. Like you start to think that you want to punch people in the face. You think you're them, and that incites like a weird testosterone for posers to think they can fight. And it does incite. So if someone sees if the 1%ers are there or the fucking pagans are there, you don't want a fucking biker brawl in Foxwoods.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that does. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm good.
Thank you, PCB. He writes, I only give money to ARM and Tookie for F.
Good for you. I agree. I like Tookie.
Is that Tookie Williams?
No, it's Bedabbler.
Oh God.
Rockaborough.
Right. Okay.
He actually does a good show. I wish he'd get off the Chad stuff, though. It's boring.
Tookie Williams is the head of the Crips. He's like Jamie Foxx played him in I think it was a TV movie or something.
At this point, I mean, it's a very common name. A
lot of people.
What do they think? Something's going to happen?
What do they think? Yeah.
So then he says, I said, I'm not taking my jacket off. You think you have to leave? I said, I'm not leaving either. I'm a guest of HBO. I'm not leaving. So do what you got to do. I'm going in to see a fight. With that, they kind of walkie-talkie, man, and about 30 cops came in from Connecticut State Police.
Right.
One day we got to read Eric the Midget's Amazon wish list, Sarah. Sarah, you there? I guess she's not. Anyway,
Nope,
that's a
I
good.
was muted. I was
Okay,
muted.
sorry about that.
My first day on the job. Sorry.
That's okay.
We don't have a Deppening wish list. I would never do that.
I just meant Eric the Midget had that
No,
wish list.
no. I know, but I'm reading the chat. Eric had people that were buying him stuff. Good on him.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel bought him like the whole page.
And if you're born with that affliction, you get whatever the fuck you can get out of it.
Yep. I heard your cartoon cat's pretty spoiled.
She is sleeping in the closet right now on top of the luggage.
What a cartoon character. She's in the closet?
Yes, she's our thumbnail too. She's a little Native American. Holden keeps asking, what's our Venmo? Venmo is up in the upper right corner of the screen. It's at the Deppening. So when you get there, just make sure there should be a photo of Arm in his little sunglasses, dressed as Aquaman. But that is the Deppening, or that QR code up in the corner.
Holden is a great Holden's always on the spot with tweets and stuff. Let me know, heads up. I would not know. I mean, it's not Daniel Carver, it's his wife, but whatever.
And he came up to me. He says, "What's the problem?" I said, "Well, you tell me. This guy's telling me I have to take the jacket off." He said, "Well, they don't want you in there with a jacket."
It's crazy.
I said, "Well, I said the same thing. That's crazy."
Right.
He goes, "Well, they're afraid it's going to incite violence." I said, "I'm going to a fuck."
They're exactly right. You don't come on, Chuck. You're not stupid. You know he's right. He can't listen to anybody. It's always the tough guy posture. It's always hold your ground. This like kind of just stupid, toxic masculinity, fake integrity. Take the fucking jacket off. Sarah's right, and the cop's right. It's going to incite you. Zito's not. He knows exactly what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing match where two guys don't kill each other.
That doesn't incite
violence. Are you crazy?
30 cops coming in there and harassing is going to incite violence.
Artie kissing his ass.
I didn't even know Artie was there.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, that's the first thing he said. He's on his way out. These are the last months, he's going to be on. You realize Artie hasn't been on the show, Sarah, in 15 years.
I know. Do you know how old that makes me feel every time I think about it?
Oh, man. I can't believe it's been 15
years. It feels like
years.
It was yesterday.
Melvin goes, his arm cutting gassers live. Now I was blowing my nose.
And then now what's great about it, I'm doing my second book.
But did you get to go in with your jacket on?
I got to go in. I got arrested.
You got arrested.
I actually would read his book.
Have fun.
Hey, Johnny Bye-Bye, can we get our hands on Paul Barisi, you know that, and the Josh Brolin book, because I need to read. He has to bring Jump Street up in that. He and Depp have some weird history even beyond that. I need to see what he says about Jump Street. By the way, David played his fucking wedding. Can you believe that? He's 20 years older, of course, than his wife is.
Yeah.
David played his wedding. He had to perform in front of Schnazola Streisand. Isn't that? And you know how much his people love Barbara Streisand. And that must have been terrifying.
Arrested.
You were in jail.
So yeah, I went to jail. First they said, "Well, take your stay." And the guys, and I have the surveillance video of that day with all these cops around me.
I want to see that. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it.
And I went crazy. I had my long fringe jacket. I had my Hells Angel patch on, and I put my finger in all their faces. I said, "I'm not taking my jacket off." He says, "You can see him. Well, just fold it over your arm, and you can just walk in." I said, "I'm not taking it off. Read my lips. I'm not taking it off."
There's no compromise here.
Exactly. I said, "You tell me a guy with a Yankees jacket, or say you're going to tell him to take it off?"
Right.
And then at the wind-up boys, he goes, "Well, you're going to have to an hour." He goes, "Well, we don't want to do this." I said, "Well, you."
There are times in sports stadiums where if you walk into Philadelphia with a Cowboys jacket on, they will attack you.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles fans do not play. If you walk into Boston with a Yankees jacket on, if you walk into the Boston Garden with I don't know, the rivalries really aren't there anymore, but it used to be like a Philadelphia 76ers jacket and stuff. It was on. I've seen, what the hell was I watching? It was a 49ers. Damn it, 49ers fan against a Rams fan or something. I don't know. There's some weird rivalries out there, and
that's a big rivalry.
Yeah.
Seahawks and Rams too.
Yeah.
hate each other.
Seahawks are interesting because they represent you. It's almost like they encompass Washington State, Oregon, and Idaho all root for that one team. It's
Well,
the
Seahawks
only,
fans hate 49er fans too.
yeah.
Rightfully so. I kind of do too. Sorry,
I
no
s-
offense to anybody.
I still can't take them seriously in the NFC. I can't deal with it. I want them back in the AFC. I just don't know why I can't take it seriously. Just like
I
in
don't know.
baseball, the Astros in the American League, I just can't take it seriously.
But anything Zito's telling you happened in this confrontation, probably 10% of it really happened.
I believe this. I mean,
Oh, please.
if he says there's surveillance footage, you can
That
prove
only
it.
he's seen.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Brendan says, do you know this, Sarah, the Survivor Series? Bobby Heenan did this thing. We used to do this. So Brendan will back me up on this. Speaking of lying, I'm not lying when I say we used to call Cablevision in the late 80s and early 90s for my friend Jim Verdone's house because our cable in Suffolk County did not offer the wrestling pay-per-view events. So
Mhm.
we would call Cablevision and scream, survive, survive, survive. 5 of us into the phone every day and prank them because they wouldn't offer wrestling pay-per-view.
That
Every day
doesn't
we would do
surprise
it
me.
at Jim Verdone's house after we would watch Remote Control with Ken Ober and Colin
Oh,
Quinn.
God.
They're condoning what they do. They say, well, this is a sovereign nation. They do have their own.
Thank you, Brendan, by the way, for
Yes,
everything.
thank you.
Brendan's the reason we're watching this right now.
laws. I said, no, you're a Connecticut State Police.
Right.
You're saying that it's right, and you know it's wrong. And I got on the phone with Ron Kuby, the lawyer.
Right.
I'm on listening to him. You see me on the surveillance, talking to my lawyer,
Right.
saying how far I could push and all. He goes, well, they can't tell you to take it off. It's against your rights and all that stuff. And then finally they said, well, take it off or leave. I said, I'm not doing both. And they arrested me.
And this is a big insult to you because the Hells Angels are like a family to you. This is your
I told him, I
whole
said,
life.
that's what it was. I said, it's my religion. That's why I believe in.
Right.
At the time.
If I were the cop, I'd ask him without any kind of, snarky sarcasm. Like, why is it your religion? Like, what is it? Why? Explain to me what it is. How is it your religion? What do you mean? Explain to me what this becomes religion. What is it about
Mhm.
them? And make him say it, because I don't think there's a reason. I think. Thank Chubby Pickle. Thank you once again. All the content you get for free.
Yes, for everything,
Here
Mr.
for long
Pickle.
haul, and I'm sure I speak for everyone. Thank you, Chubby, and thank you for your phenomenal appearance, which I'm still hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
You gave us the play-by-play of going to P. Diddy's white party.
I'm not taking it off.
Do you never wear Hells Angels stuff now because you
No more. Anything.
Thank you. So who was asking me? So now he's no longer allowed to wear Hell's Angel stuff. This is 08. So thank you, Tendrils. Thank you. I donate my time listening to Arn put Aquaman on a pedestal every week. 3/4 of the earth he rules, and there's only one of him, Vinny. Only one of him. Do not underestimate the super strength levels of one Arthur Curry, which seems to get stronger every year, as a matter of fact.
That's what it was. I said, it's my religion. That's why I believe in. At the time, I'm not.
You got the Venmo thing from Holden, right? Who was
yeah, he got the information.
Top right corner is a QR code.
Do you never wear Hells Angels stuff now because
Pell says, I guess KB is KB Toys.
Oh yeah, Pell's in the Onions chat too, I think.
So he means Kevin Brennan, right?
Yes. I can't watch that show.
Kevin Brennan never reads the poor chat. Yes, I've had jokes taken for. I believe that. See, here's your proof. I knew. Damn it. God damn it, Pello. I will never do that to you. And if I do that to you, please read me that. I would never do that. And I'm sure I would back it, and I would correct myself. That is the worst. I think that's every bit plagiarism is stealing someone's song. I really do. I think if Rogan wants to go after these guys stealing jokes from chats, I think it's just as bad as anything, especially if it's good. And there's a ton of great jokes in our chat. Really, really good shit. Like, I laugh more at this than I do about scripted shit on TV where people make 6 figures writing it.
They arrested me.
And this is a big insult to you because the Hell's Angels like a family to you. This is your
I told him, I
whole
said,
life.
that's what it was. I said, it's my religion. That's why I believe in. At the time, I'm not taking off.
Do you never wear Hell's Angels stuff now because you
No more. Anything that had said Hell's Angels goes back to the club. The club owns that.
So
my jacket, everything, my belt buckle,
You
rings.
give all that back.
Everything back, yeah.
Really? They didn't say to you, hey, Chuck, you're a member in good standing.
They don't care.
They don't.
I was a 25-year member. They don't care, man. It goes back to the club. It belongs to the club.
And you understood that?
Of course. You understand that when you...
Can you still visit the club as a friend?
Yeah, sure.
You're in good standing, aren't
Actually,
you?
the people I was with from Hell's Angels from British Columbia, Randy Jones, was in Rayo's with me with the girl.
Oh.
There's no situation where Brendan can't make a wrestling reference. So Brendan says again, Zito's lucky he didn't end up in prison with a big boss man would be your prison guard. Brendan, you're like a savant. You could work a wrestling reference, and it's usually old guys. It can't be anything new. It's gonna be from the heyday. It's gonna be from the 80s and early 90s.
Okay.
So actually, I traded him for he had a beautiful '68 Dodge Charger. I'm into cars now.
Right.
And also, we've met a friend of yours. You know the kid, Evan Metropolis?
Yes, Evan, yeah.
So this is interesting. I guess Evan Metropolis is a billionaire, and I don't think Howard wants you to know that he's friends with him. Mm-hmm. So I guess Chuck ran into him, and he must have brought him up, and this must be one of Howard's rich guy friends. And Zito's like, I don't think Howard wants him bringing this up. This is interesting.
Now?
Right.
And also, we've met a friend.
Go ahead, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Man of the people.
Yeah, very man of
loves those truck drivers.
You know the kid, Evan Metropolis?
Yes, Evan, yeah. The tuna fish kid.
Yes. I went to his house the other day.
Bumblebee?
Right.
Yeah, the Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee.
The Bumblebee kid. Yeah, that kid's got a plane.
He lives right behind the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Wow.
Like in a $20 million mansion, probably more.
And he's very generous.
Howard pretending that he doesn't have the same setup or better than this. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. Actually, that's what I want to talk to. They want to do my movie now. My book into a movie. So they're interested in doing it.
That's good.
So
everybody who has a book out will invariably say, "Oh, it's going to be a movie. We're going to make a movie out of it. We're going to." I know.
Talking to me about a movie.
Everybody doesn't matter what the book is.
he knows I'm a big car buff, and he goes, well, come see my car. So we go out to the pool. They got this big pool with all these pillars and...
Howard doesn't get, that's crazy, right, Howard? You don't know what that's like.
I drove an Audi through a mud puddle and stalled it out once.
You're obsessed with that Audi story, aren't you? I gotta get that.
I watched one of those. I watched the most random shit on YouTube, like everybody does. But they were doing it's one of those first time wash car detailing shows.
Right.
And it was like an Audi, whatever. I think it was the same kind he had. And I was just fascinated trying to picture him in this car, and I just couldn't.
Did you ever hear that story Ronnie told, and Howard was really rocked by it? That there was a situation where Ronnie got sick, and Howard was forced to drive in Manhattan, and he was like, what do they call it? White knuckling it on the thing, and he had driving gloves on, and he couldn't do the most basic things. And Ronnie's like, I guess Ronnie had to throw up or something. And Howard was terrified. He stopped the car and he waited for Ronnie he couldn't drive like 2 blocks. And it was just like, and then Howard freaked out because he didn't want anyone to know. It was like when Ronnie got picked on and Ronnie's like, oh, I got the story. I'm going to lay him out with this.
I'm not saying anything because every time I have to drive through Portland, I want to throw up. I'm like, oh God, they're gonna hit me. I'm gonna sideswipe a Max train. Oh my God.
Not like this. You know what I mean? There's that, and then there's Howard driving.
Do you think he knew where the blinker was?
I think every story you hear about him ever bringing up driving is fake. I don't think he's driven since the 80s. I really do. I really don't think he's driven since the 80s. Thanks again, Chubby. All right. The next Zito thing, I'm going to save it for Chauncey because it's the Van Damme stuff. So I'm going to save that for Chauncey. The next thing I want to do is Marilyn Manson. Did we do that? Save it for some other time.
What's the Marilyn Manson?
Evan Rachel Wood, he was forced to throw out his defamation suit, and she's allowed to go for. So it's that couldn't be better news. And so, let me save it for another time.
All right.
I have a clip of Conan O'Brien talk about getting terrorized by Manson. Let's play that. Conan O'Brien said that Manson's a piece of shit, and which you don't hear much from. And Billy Corgan signs off on it, and so does Trent Reznor. And this is a story of Conan O'Brien at the Private Parts premiere saying that Marilyn Manson was terrorizing him, like trying to bully him. It's an interesting.
All you need to do is watch the 9 Inch Nails music video called Starfuckers Incorporated, and that will tell you everybody who Marilyn Manson has a problem with.
Starfuckers Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't play it because we will be struck in 2 seconds by Trent Reznor. But
what is that? His production company or something?
No, it's a song. It's off the album Fragile.
Okay. I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Watch the video.
Much like Prince and Don Henley, I own all of Trent Reznor's music.
Yes. I wish you did. We wouldn't have to do this for super chats.
Yeah. Yes. I was around before 93.
Me too. We were slaving in clubs somewhere, I'm sure.
I had this crazy year or two at the start of my show. It was very rocky, and we were doing a lot of weird stuff, and coverage was, people were not happy with what I was doing. And then I was invited to go to the premiere of Howard Stern's Private Parts. So I went, because that was one of those things where you go. It's a you've been asked to go to this huge media event, and you go. And I went, but remembered.
Sarah, you remember the Private Parts promotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was so crazy. And this is another reason why it's so embarrassing how little money that movie made. He had literally bogarted MTV for like 2 days in a row, wall to wall, full hour promotions, the E channel, which obviously his show is on, all day long with promotions on it. And used his own radio show, which he claims had 25 million listeners, an infomercial for a year and a half. And still, the movie only makes $41 million total. Embarrassing.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if I had to get dressed up to go to a quote-unquote Hollywood-like premiere and deal with the red carpet, deal with the MTV VJs trying to interview me and their shenanigans, cringe shenanigans, and I had to sit through that movie, Private Parts.
Yep.
I would be demanding a refund from Howard, even if I got in for free.
And knowing what we know now, how much was manufactured and hyperbole, it turns into, to quote, might have been Kumi, right? That said this, it was a science fiction movie. It turned out to be.
Yeah. I sat at the height of my fandom. I went to the Salem movie theater, skipped school that day.
Wow.
Went to on a Wednesday. No, it was opening day, so it must have been a Friday. But went and saw that movie. I was one of 4 people in the theater.
Wow.
It was the very end. I wanted that movie to be so good. After all the hype, I sat through at the end of that movie. I literally said out loud, "That's it."
That's it. And it also felt like because of all the promotion, you had seen every scene. You had seen every single scene had been shown already in some capacity. Welcome, Tamara Francois. That's CP time. No problem there, Tam Fran. Good to see you at all. We'll always take good, and hopefully we can have you back again too. You did a great job when you were on. Frank the Tank says, "Hey, Sarah and I'm good to see the A-Team back in action. I pity the fool." Interestingly enough, I'm going to binge watch the original A-Team very, very soon.
Oh my!
I
want to binge watch Airwolf.
What was I going to say? The A-Team was something ripped off the A-Team recently. I forget what it was. I found something that stole from the A-Team.
Many things have ripped off the A-Team.
Oh, I forget what. Anyway,
I used to watch the A-Team with my dad.
Very similar 21 Jump Street production company. So it's Stephen Cannell, Patrick Hasberg, who's co-creator, worked on the show. So tons of Jump Street crossover on the A-Team.
Thinking, I don't know, do I belong here? You've been asked to go to this huge media event, and you go. And I went, but remembered thinking, I don't know, do I belong here? Should I be here? And there's this, everybody in the world is there, and we're all packed into this crazy situation. And I think the next thing I know, Marilyn Manson is like in my face, maybe doing a bit, maybe not, trying to get me to drink out of like a chalice of something that looked evil. It was all very weird. And
Do you remember who he was with?
I don't.
Jenna Jameson.
Oh, that's right. Oh, right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, your memory's better than mine. I think I was more focused on what's in that chalice than who's he with. But I was feeling really uncomfortable in kind of almost a high school way. Like I don't belong here. I wish I wasn't here right now.
Sounds like you're recounting the lyrics for Creep by Radiohead.
Yes, I am.
What's there?
I get it.
Yeah. And he's in your face and he doesn't know him. And he's like, what is this? He's trying to be a nice guy. And yeah, I totally get it.
It's like I'm like in that era. Was that 96?
97.
95? Oh yeah, that's the height of the Antichrist Superstar album.
Yes.
Their greatest album. I was probably the greatest fan in Salem, Oregon. Even knowing every song of theirs up to that point and having seen them live a year sooner, I wouldn't want to hang out with Marilyn Manson. It'd scare the crap out of me.
Speaking of Oregon, doesn't Courtney Love have a problem with him too?
Yes, they toured together in 98 when Mechanical Animals and Celebrity Skin came out about the same time. They toured together. I went to that. It was great. But that dual tour only lasted maybe about 3 or 4 shows, and she dropped out because she says it just wasn't her crowd.
Right.
And that really started the war between them.
And
she said at the time she was trying to be drug free, and they were doing just drugs constantly.
And what's the deal with Corgan and Courtney Love again?
They dated before Kurt Cobain. She kind of, rumors say she kind of carried on an affair with Billy Corgan through her marriage. Kurt Cobain hated him, probably for that reason, and because he knew. Billy Corgan wrote most of Celebrity Skin because when he came in, it was just a big mess.
I didn't know that until a couple of years ago.
And he started talking in interviews about how he wrote some of the melodies to the songs and kind of tied them all together, made them more, radio friendly.
Right.
And she didn't like that he was saying that.
I'm not looking at the bottom of the chat, so trust me, I'm not cheating. I predict Brendan will say Billy Corgan bought the NWA somewhere.
Oh, just wait for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see it yet.
Okay. He's gonna say it. Please don't disappoint me, Brendan.
I mean, I remember thinking, I wish I had a different body. I wish I had a different soul. No, but then you, who I didn't really know well, came over and just said, like, to Marilyn Manson, like, back off, dude. And then you were like, Conan, how are you? You were so nice to me.
Well, I was a fan, so that helps.
Well, but what I recall is everyone else was being so performative and self-conscious, trying to outdo each other in some spectacular way that would get attention. And you just cut over and in a very Midwestern, nice way, said hi to me and established a bond. And every now and then that pops into my head as you sort of coming out of the fog as a nice, decent person.
Oh, thank you.
And being nice to me. And so I just thank you for that, because I owe you one for that.
Wow, that's a good story.
The other guy sounds like the Crazy Days and Nights guy.
Billy Corgan?
No, the guy. Yeah, Billy Corgan. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's who he's talking to.
I know. I forgot. Sorry. Had a moment where I was like, is that the Crazy Days and Nights guy?
You know what's funny about that story? He goes, you were such a nice Midwestern guy. And Marilyn Manson's actually from Ohio. He's from Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
And Billy Corgan's from Chicago. So they're both Midwestern, really, in a way. And I guess Chicago is. But what a piece of shit! I bet you there's a million stories like that. He had that spitting. Did he spit on that? Was it security or a girl
More than once.
In Vermont?
More than once.
She won the trial. There's actually footage, and he tried to beat it and couldn't. And it's just constant over and. This is a message for Johnny Depp, motherfucker. Get some new friends. If you don't do it, I'm going to do it for you. And you don't want that. I'm going to pick your scripts and I'm going to pick your fucking friends, because he is an absolute, they're rebels. What a counterculture rebel. No, he's a piece of shit. Get new friends. Your friends suck. All of them. Every one of them, except Doug Stanhope and Josh Richmond. I hate your friends. I want to fight all your friends all at once.
I will say, though, in 95, 96, and part of 97, Marilyn Manson, even though you had your Alice Coopers, 20 years before that.
Well, he's an Alice
and
Cooper knockoff, right?
I know. But you had your Ozzy Osbourne in the 80s. Marilyn Manson was pretty innovative with like stage shows. And I'm sitting there in 95 at the American Portrait of American Family tour, scared to death about what I was seeing on stage. I had never seen anything like it.
How old were you?
17.
That's pretty hardcore for 17. Yeah, I wouldn't. The most I did was Live in Color in Stony Brook.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got the Antichrist Superstar tour that I went to, where he's standing behind that podium, and those flags drop, and you feel like you're in Germany in the early 40s, and scared to death about what you're about to see. And you look back on it now, you roll your eyes, but back then it was so amazing in not a good way, but it was innovative. And the music was good.
Any cameo appearances we should know about?
I gotta think.
Anybody jump on stage? Who are his guitar? Who is his band? By the way, he's the worst. He can't sing. He doesn't play instruments. His songwriting's so corny and overrated. Like, did he play a single? Does he
Trent
play any?
Reznor wrote his best song.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's even worse. Trent Reznor.
These tour stops were in Oregon. You don't really get the cameos.
Okay.
And like until you're in LA. But yeah, I've never seen a show like it. I'll say that.
Tamara goes, I figured I'll go for 8 hours, honey. You have no idea.
No. I got some wrestling I gotta watch.
We love us some Dan Fran. Welcome, Fold 47. Arthur Fonzarelli likely would have removed the jacket. Oh, that is a Fonzie move, Brendan. You're right. You're right. That is such a Fonzie move with Chuck Zito. That's a great reference, Brendan. Holden says, "What's your Venmo?" Oh, we did that already, right?
Yeah, you're jumping around like crazy.
Because I have to. All right. That's a good story, and the private parts premiere. I think I have it on hard drive somewhere, and I do believe
I can watch
they're
that.
all on it. I would like to go over.
Gunk watch that though. I don't want to do it again if they did it.
No, of course not. If we did, it was 20 seconds. And I got cut off. That is a good show. Absolutely.
That might have to be Patreon if it's MTV.
Josh Brolin. This is Josh Brolin on Howard. This is what everybody's talking about.
How lucky are you? You got that head of hair. Look at that.
What, is that a wig that you wear?
Yes. No. Did you think it was a?
Go ahead, Terrence. I love your reaction. See how quick he did that?
I've never heard that. Okay.
So Josh Brolin's looking at him going, so this is his new buddy. This is 2024. This Brolin was on a couple of weeks ago, and all he could think of is this.
How lucky are you? You got that head of hair. Look at that.
What, is that a wig that you wear?
Yes. No. Did you think it was a wig?
No, I didn't. Of course not.
And I don't color this.
That's a great. You don't?
No color.
Come on.
Swear to God. I don't color.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Your hair's that dark naturally?
Yeah, and I'm an old fart.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Have you?
Sarah, how much does he sound like Robert Downey Jr.?
He has a little bit. If Robert Downey Jr. smoked about 12 packs of Pall Malls a day.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like a California celebrity. Like they're about the same age, and they kind of all sound the same. That kind of. Kathy Scott says, "I'm glad you both enjoyed the gifts I got you."
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Kathy, you're the best, and I cannot
hope you're
wait
feeling okay. I hope you're feeling better. I don't want to say okay yet. It's still early.
Oh, yeah, it's still early.
Yeah. I think it was on my door. There's a digital pic.
No color.
Come on.
Swear to God. I don't color.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Your hair's that dark naturally?
Yeah, and I'm an old fart.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Have you seen me? I think it was on my door. There's a digital.
I think Downey is the reason Brolin was booked on here. What do you think about that?
Probably, yeah.
Howard's good friends with Downey in the Hamptons. Downey's very good friends with Brolin. How do you think Brolin got the Thanos role?
Yeah.
Right? Iron Man. Tony Stark got it for him.
Digital picture of me on your door, and I have a white beard. My beard is white. I mean, Santa Claus white.
Me too.
Really?
But my hair is dark.
What is that? That's an anomaly. That's some
It's
kind
weird.
of chromosomal anomaly.
My mother's father was the same way. He had a full head of hair. When he was 80, it just started to turn a little bit gray.
Wow.
Do you think Brolin buys any of that bullshit?
No.
You can tell instantly he doesn't.
And that's new.
Is there any more?
Is this
Hollywood...
a new?
Yeah,
is this
brand
new?
new. Yes, brand new. Yes.
Mm.
Is there anyone more tapped into Hollywood than Josh Brolin, and who's seen every hair trick in the book? He doesn't buy any of that shit. So I'm not going to play this whole thing because I want to save it. It's so long, but I just want to give you something I dug up as the ferret. Because it is so long, but it constitutes like Chauncey and Spencer Colbrin and Dr. Bauman. So I found from the late 90s, apparently Robin got tipped off by someone that Howard went to a hair restoration place as the only male in the place. And so they made a gossip story about it. And Robin sandbagged Howard and did a news story about it in the late 90s. This is like 97, 96. And so she starts the news off. And I don't think anyone's heard this. And so I went and made a video out of it for us. Maggie Stern. Okay. Hair. Oh, Howard's hair explode. Okay. Here we go.
Here.
Go ahead.
That in the
You hear the quality difference in
Yes.
you can immediately.
I'd still rather listen to that than their current stuff.
Thank you, Mary Jean. I support the arts. Using my own pompous terminology against me. I don't care if you love Johnny's. Nobody loves him more than I do, Judy. And you got to admit, his friends fucking suck. If you had a son hung out with people like that, immediately you'd step in and have an intervention. There's no way you would let your son or grandson or hang out with the people he hangs out with. All predators, by the way. Beachy Coldclay. Go read up on him. I think you've heard me go off on him. Roman Polanski. Would you let your son hang out with Roman Polanski? Would you let your 14-year-old daughter date Roman fucking Polanski?
Hang out.
Globe this week.
Thank you.
They say that Howard Stern is battling baldness.
Get out of here. Are you serious? Are you serious?
So Robin got this fax to her by somebody, of like a celebrity friend, I guess, or someone who's in the know, and saw him at this. I don't think it's it's either the Farrell place or another one that he's going to, and he's like, "What?"
Battling baldness.
Radio's morning mouth, Howard Stern, is open about his private parts.
Yeah.
He keeps one secret under his hat.
I got the greatest head of hair on the planet.
He's getting special treatments to keep from losing his kinky tresses, insiders reveal.
Really? Where would I go to get that?
Howard is worried sick.
What?
Now, I heard you moan there, Sarah. Here's how well I know you and how well I know what he's doing. You know he's lying. That's why you did that.
Yes, because we have, God, who? No, there's a video of it, isn't there? Where Tony Coburn is using turf spray.
Yes.
On the top of his head.
Yes.
And Artie's head.
And he admitted it, or and I had that. But this is, I can hear he's already trying to lie, and he will have to walk it back. Watch this.
About the clumps of hair that fall off in his palms in the shower.
I'm going to sue them. How can they say that?
He'll be a baldy, says a source.
What source?
The 42-year-old shock jock.
What?
Why don't you tell us? I'm very upset because I don't know this.
I don't either. It's news to me.
The 42-year-old shock jock.
So he's lying again. I don't know this. What are you talking? He knows exactly where he went, and he has to admit it soon. This is a long thing. This is a half hour they spent on this. So no one has heard this. This never gets any. And I just found this just kind of ferreting. This is a whole show. I just wanted to show you. I'm gonna play like about a minute more, and then we'll save it for another time. By the way, thank you, Holden, for a job
Yes,
well
thank
done.
you.
And thank you, Holden, for all of your tips, because we're going to get to Daniel Carver right after this.
And Tamara, right above
and
him.
Tamara Francois. To go
And you guys, we're doing fine this month. So you guys don't have to, I don't want to say don't do it,
Tamara,
but
that's 5 things of Theraflu for me. Thank you very much.
yes. Just enjoy the rest of the show. Don't worry about.
Is so desperate to keep from turning into his bald father, Ben.
No,
He secretly receives treatments at New York's Philip Kingsley's Trickle.
Do you think it's possible Chauncey did this?
Maybe.
That Chauncey knows this and Chauncey faxed this to Robin?
But quite possibly.
Oh my God, this could be him.
Father Ben.
No,
He secretly receives treatments at New York's Philip Kingsley's Trichological Center.
It's not a secret. I went there for the movie. My hair got burned out from, from dyeing it blue.
Oh, sure, that's the cover.
Yeah.
He shells out $100 for a...
So as soon as they identify the proper place, he has to come clean.
Yeah,
and they bust him. He would have you think, oh, I didn't do it.
Dyeing it blue.
Oh, sure, that's the cover.
Yeah.
He shells out $100...
Let's hear the name of this place again.
Secret. I went there for the movie. My hair got burned. I don't either. It's news to me.
The 42-year-old shock jock is so desperate to keep from turning into his bald father, Ben.
No,
He secretly receives treatments at New York's Philip Kingsley's Trichological Center.
Philip Kingsley
Trichological
Center.
You keep going. I'll look it up.
All right. If you can.
it's not a secret. I went there for the movie. My hair got burned out from, from dyeing it blue.
Oh, sure, that's the cover.
Yeah.
He shells out $100 for a consultation, $65 for a scalp treatment, and hundreds more for shampoo, conditioner, and spray.
And it's a real secret.
Al said.
Wow, that's so spot on. All that's true. Do you remember Stuttering John said, you have hair grow shampoo in your bathroom? I found that clip. That's exactly what that is. God damn it. You don't need any more proof.
There is a coupon on his website for 30% off.
Okay, what are you
still open? It is
And
a spa in Manhattan.
Okay. And what do they offer?
I'm trying to find the menu here. It's a very heavy pop-up website. So hold on. Keep going.
Wait, some pal. It's a real secret. I sit there with about 100 ladies getting our hair done.
He is so determined to keep others from finding out, sources say, that he makes his appointments on his car phone.
Ooh. How can I make some money at this and sue them?
He'll ask if he can come over right away, said the insider. He never schedules in advance or lets others do it for him. On a recent visit, Howie had to strip off his shirt and put on a blue robe, says a source. Then he was given a scalp cleansing, followed by 20 minutes under the dryer.
Yeah.
There are no private rooms. Howard sat side by side with the ladies as he sipped herbal tea and read a magazine.
Number one, I don't drink tea. Number two,
So he had hot water and lemon. That's his big lie. That's his big catch. Is they saw a teacup and they go, "Oh, I don't drink tea." That's his big catch. Or that's his... Go ahead, Sarah. I'm sorry.
All right. Our team of experienced trichologists, are experts in treating hair loss, thinning, and scalp conditions, including dandruff, eczema, and psoriasis. We also offer bespoke products and services that take care of cosmetic issues such as hair breakage, dryness, dullness, lack of body, and unmanageability. Their number one, the most common concern we treat in both men and women is hair loss. There are many different types of hair loss, blah, blah, blah.
Busted.
They treat
100%.
alopecia, frontal fibrosing alopecia, and hair loss as a result of cancer treatment.
Get shampooed anywhere. Why would you go there? Why would you go there? And also, he's there. Picture this. He's there, and there's 30 women and him. He's the only. If he's not, what evidence do you need about the hair, about how gay he is? Who goes to this shit? All right, we're gonna get back to this because this calls for Chauncey for next time.
Oh,
But is
wait,
that not a great
you want a
clip?
price?
Yeah, please.
Okay. A remote video consultation plus 4 products, $325 an hour.
Just
That's
for a
today's money, of
consultation?
course. Yes, a remote video consultation of 45 minutes is $225.
So it's 4 times my therapist for a hair consultation.
Mhm.
Holy shit. And that's guaranteed. That's still, he's still doing this shit. And now by now they probably have private rooms because he couldn't handle, being out there in public and shit. That's
Yeah.
absolutely good catch, Sarah.
After your initial consultation, your trichologist, I cannot say that, will recommend appointments to check progress, monitor your hair and scalp concerns, and renew prescriptions.
Oh my God.
Follow-ups are usually advised once or twice yearly. Every 30 minutes, they charge you $85.
Go ahead, Reddit. Take this away. Here's more proof. I don't know how much more I got to do. Every time I find something else. Go ahead. Run with it. Christ's sake. What are we
Hair loss
doing?
is like the biggest scam in the world.
I know.
Men accept it.
I hate
It's sexy.
How funny is this? Pell goes, Conan should have wore a Hell's Angels jacket. At the private parts premiere. That's so funny, Pello. That's really. See, these are the jokes that people steal from Pello.
Oh, I may pass out.
You got to go soon?
No, but I am probably 10 feet away from a litter box, and somebody decided to wake up and do her end of the day.
The cartoon man? Aw, how does she shit so? You know that George Clooney joke where he kept emptying the litter box, and then he took a human shit to make it look like the cat had constipation? How does that cartoon cat take such a big crap?
Oh, keep going.
Oh my God! How does a
Jesus
cute cat?
Christ!
All right, let's go to Tamara Friends. I still haven't seen Private Parts, says Tamara, and I don't think I ever want to. Don't see it, Tamara. Hold out. Don't watch it.
Don't
Watch it. Don't ever watch it.
It's time you'll never get back.
Exactly. And you know everything about it anyway. There's nothing. It's lies. It's live at parts. It's all. This is just you'll be very disappointed. You'll be very I mean, Paul Giamatti's great in it. Portrait of American Family was the best. Is when Scott Putsky. Was when he played the instruments. Is that Manson's guitarist or something? Or something? Oh, Sarah's. Oh, she's taking care of her cat. Okay. So I want to thank again Dennis / Holden for giving me this. This is Daniel Carver's wife passed away, which I thought was Daniel Carver. Tell me if you see this.
I'm back. I had to spray.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
No, before I get, you know what? Let's play the James Brolin stuff. Josh Brolin. This is Howard. What he really thinks about Josh Brolin, a scant almost 20 years ago, when Josh Brolin got arrested for going at it with Martha Kent, aka Sarah's scissor fantasy, Diane Lane. It's almost like, would you say it's like Thanos against Martha Kent, or Jonah Hex against Martha Kent, or Cable against Martha Kent? Here is the story. Josh Brolin.
Can you just refer to her from Unfaithful?
Did I?
No, can you just refer to her from Unfaithful and not Martha Kent?
What was her name in Unfaithful?
I don't remember, but that's when she was hot.
She's still hot.
Bunch of things to get to, and
You know what my favorite story was while we were away? The breakup of Ellen's relationship and her falling in love with Portia de Rossi.
Well, that was a good one, but that certainly wasn't the best story while we were away.
What was the best?
The best story was
domestic abuse.
I don't think a lot of people know this story. And isn't it crazy the power that Robert Downey Jr. must? Okay, here's Brendan. Yes, Billy Corgan bought the NWA. Re-wrestle. Thanks, Brendan.
What a weird way to start the story, though. I know he's being shocking, but the best story of the week was domestic violence.
Yeah, Robin loves it,
Okay.
right? Robin, who's not
No,
married,
Howard said that too.
but they love it. They love it. That Disney still went ahead and hired Josh Brolin. He was in Sin City as well.
Yes, he was.
That's quite a resume after you got this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You would
Timing is
never
everything.
it is crazy, right? It is amazing that he got to play Thanos in a Disney movie after this shit.
James Brolin beating up Diane Lane.
Oh,
That was the best story.
Now, I'm sure Howard brought this up to him, right? During the 2-hour interview you just did? No, of course
Oh, I
not.
know, I heard it.
And I'm sure Joe Rogan brought it up too.
Hmm.
Of course not. MMA, boxing, but not
I will
the
say
real fight.
it was such a in and out story
Yeah.
that I'm not shocked a lot of people don't remember it.
I know. No one remembers it. I barely remembered it.
No, I love that story.
What happened?
Is his name James Brolin?
Yeah.
The guy married to Barbara Streisand?
No. James Brolin's son is, what is it? Josh.
Oh, Josh Brolin.
Josh is the
Josh Brolin's married to Diane Lane, who's like the hottest piece of ass on the planet, who I would just worship.
That's the broad from Tuscan Sun.
Yeah.
He sounds like you, Sarah. You worship Diane Lane.
Faithful and
Right, yeah, she's hot.
So I'm reading in the paper that there was a bit of a problem. I guess they had to call the police because he was knocking her around a bit. And and I'm like, this son of a bitch, man. You know how many guys would die to be with her?
You know what he was upset about?
What?
He thought he had gotten a job. Some movie or TV.
I know, right? Pillell's right. Could you imagine Manson, the timing of that, any other time, how that would be laughed out of? It's just such a and again, I'm going to shit on Depp again. Depp, who his entire narrative complaining that his band, the Kids, who were horrible knockoffs of the Romantics, didn't get signed in the 80s, pals around with this guy, the antithesis of musical integrity. That every band's a poser and it's all about this guy is everything you purport to be against as a musician. It is every gimmick.
It is the right time. Grunge was almost certainly dead by the beginning of 95. So we just, that industry needed something. They needed a complete 180, and it certainly was that.
Hanging out with him, Lily Rose's godfather, is everything you purport to be against if you have a shred of musical integrity. And I agree with Patrick Hasberg. His artistic brand is the most embellished, overrated, compromised thing on the face of the earth right now. I'm talking about Depp's.
Mm-hmm.
What?
He thought he had gotten a job. Some movie or TV show.
I'm sorry, Sarah?
I forget how annoying Robin is. A job.
That was good. Very nice. That was good.
And then Artie. This was the era Artie was really trying to impress.
You're an underrated mimic, Sarah. You know that?
This is when Artie was really trying to impress Howard.
Yes.
And just like, she's hot. Yeah. Oh, God, shut up.
I mean, Artie should be calling him an idiot for pretending, saying James Brolin instead of Josh. I mean, it's the dumbest mistake ever. And he knows exactly what he's doing, and Artie should be calling him an idiot.
Or something.
He should know better.
And then it turned out that they
Holden says Venmo's down for me. I'll try later offline.
Yeah, he super chatted.
Thank you, Holden, again. Zersky, there's a YouTube video of Manson groping Taylor Momsen. Is that the guitarist, the female guitarist?
I don't know.
Is that the what's the name of Hole's guitarist?
Melissa Off.
Okay.
That's the bassist. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, Erlinson is the guitarist for Hole.
She's like attractive, red hair.
Melissa Oftemauer is the bassist for Hole.
Okay.
Changed their minds and decided to go another way.
So he smacked her, right?
So he smacked her.
You son of a bitch. You got that Tuscan Sun? I get nothing. God damn you. Get over here.
We're going another way.
Fold, we'll do that next time. That bullshit. That's a Buckwald plant, obviously. That stupid best hair bullshit. It's
is that new?
It's
he was just recently voted that.
It's the dumbest thing, and it's the Buckwald planting.
Of course.
Not that he's alive, but I'm saying the Buckwald agency and Leslie Dart, his publicist,
The
is
Love
Woody
Boat
Allen's.
Agency.
Yeah.
What's his name, Josh?
Josh Brolin.
Josh, you know how your dad had to marry Barbara Streisand to keep things going? Well, you know that show you were going to get? We decided to go another way. What do you mean another way? The producer.
So the jokes here, this is an ongoing bit they're doing here where the gist of this bit is Josh Brolin can't get arrested in Hollywood. He can't get a role. And this is before Sin City. This is before Cable. This is before Thanos. This is before the No Country for Old Men. This is when nobody cared or nobody wanted him. And so it's amazing how different his career is versus this, where he got actually rewarded after he went up. He was elevated after that.
At this point, he's Jump Street Brolin.
Yeah, if he's lucky.
Change the plot? No. Another way. In other words, we're going without you. Where's my wife?
The producers opted for an actor.
Yeah, we decided you didn't have enough juice being James Brolin's son and Barbara Streisand's stepson.
Maybe your dad can get you a job at AMCO.
Talk to Barbara Streisand. Maybe she'll make another movie. She'll put you in Meet the Fockers 7. But we're not interested. God damn it, where's Diane Lane? Beat her up. That bitch gets more movies than... Why can't they give me a goddamn movie? Get over...
Well, this is hilarious. Fred, you playing sound effects of a woman getting slapped around?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, right? We're really sensitive to what happened when that Tony and Tina's wedding with Allison.
I'm sure when his
Mr.
daughter,
Tough Guy?
when Tess gets into a relationship where she's knocked around, he'll play the same
He'll play
sound
those
effect.
same sound effects. I know, it's hilarious. Hitting women's hilarious.
Where you stinking... A year from now, I'll use the C word when I do this.
Yeah, write this down.
Write that down.
We're gonna
Okay, we'll save that for another time. So this is a couple of weeks later. Josh Brolin is awarded Asshole of the Year. I'm sure Howard brought this up to him during the interview.
Of the year.
Osama bin Laden?
No.
Elliot.
Number one a-hole of the year, Josh Brolin. Married to Diane Lane.
I forgot about
The hottest piece of ass, Diane Lane, and the stupid son of a bitch that got to give her a beating. What the hell is... And by the way, has the...
Holy shit. Hey, PCP BO23, is that true? Can we have you on with Dr. Bauman at the same... He says, I buy shampoo from Dr. Bauman. You know, he's Alan Bauman, who was on the show. Is a really cool, nice guy. Thanks again, Holden. In South Florida. That's where he's out of. He's the one that called out how... Are you kidding me? That's true? Oh, that's so crazy. We got to do something with that. Oh, that's so crazy. 23. We got to have them both on. Fuck. Damn, that's great.
To show up at the Golden Globe with her sitting there like nothing happened. I mean, it's frustrating being the son of James Brolin, who's married to Barbara Streisand. You're married to Diane Lane. Diane Lane's turning down pictures left and right. Barbara Streisand's thinking of backing off on her schedule because she's exhausted from all of her show business success. And Josh Brolin sits there.
Why can't you be like your father? Just sit there.
And
I know, Pella. You really feel old with this stuff now when you start to do the math about the ages then and now. Howard's like if you're Gen X and like in your early 50s, Howard was 10 years younger than you in that clip, and you always think of him as old. It's really bizarre. It really is. And Chuck Zito is only like 71 now, right? Minus let's go 17. Yeah, 54 or something in that clip. Isn't that crazy?
It's hard because when he goes, he just gotten dumb.
Diane Lane's going to turn 60 next year.
I'm looking at her mother when she was in Playboy.
Who's her mom?
Colleen. I'm looking Farrington.
Colleen Farrington. And what was she was an actress?
She's in Playboy. I don't know if she's an actress.
Okay.
I'm looking at her pictorial right now.
Yep. That laugh. It's true. Mara's right. Oh, you looking at pictorial?
Yes.
Melvin uploaded those pictures, Sarah.
We have a similar hang.
You mean down south or?
No, ew.
From like, I don't know, Beverly Hillbillies reunion show.
No. You know what it was?
Yeah, Bulldog. You catch it. Howard denies the tea story. That's the big lie, and he was obviously drinking like hot water and lemon or something.
He tried out for a Broadway play, and they told him he got it, and then they changed their minds.
So he couldn't even get a Broadway play at this point, Sarah.
Yeah.
Brolin.
Yep. Soon to be Thanos.
It's tough. You're surrounded by people who are super successful. Yeah. But when you got a precious piece of ass like Diane Lane, you don't hit her. Take it out on yourself. Cut
But you
yourself.
don't hit anyone.
Well, especially Diane Lane. Classy, beautiful woman, man. You know, I should get chicks easily. You know.
Ralph convinced him, Horatius. Ralph convinced him, as did the Pharrell hair replacement hair system. So it's a combination of those things. Ralph is a major part of his scalp initially before Tony came along.
I think they went to have some treatment done.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We've gone over that. Like Ralph's hair looks like Howard's hair. Howard tries to look like Ralph.
I think they laid side by side holding hands, nude, with towels over their midsections. Yep.
Smack him around. I don't like
doesn't
it.
even deserve that.
He doesn't deserve her.
I gotta hand it to you. In a year of terrorism, war, and murder, I did not see Josh Brolin.
I didn't either. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Gotta hand it to you.
Isn't that amazing? Cut to 2024 and he's kissing his ass for 2 hours.
Mhm.
Isn't that amazing? It's the same guy. It is so crazy.
Oh,
I'm
Melvin. Melvin. Go back to Melvin. I scooped it out when I had you on mute. There were 4 in there. Oh my God, she peels paint when she wants to. Oh.
Sarah's blaming the cat's duties on her gases midlife crisis.
I've sprayed. I think my nostril hairs are burned from the original.
But she's still cute.
No, she's very cute.
All that
She can do
stuff.
whatever she wants.
I tell you, I'm not even a cat person. That is the cutest cat I've ever seen in my life. It almost doesn't look real. She almost looks like a cartoon character. And you have her in all the she's the Catstronaut. She's my animated series idea is Camilla the Catstronaut.
She's the unofficial mascot of this channel.
Oh, totally. And you have her in Indian gear and you have her in astronaut gear. Everything works. She's a chameleon.
Native American gear.
Native American gear. Such a cute cat. And oh God, can we see Camilla, please?
Oh Jesus. That's not even her best video.
I know, but I have it here queued up and
hurry up.
It's gonna be very deep cat. Very contemplative cat right there. Charismatic and contemplative. Kathy Lee Gifford fan. This next thing, so we'll end this with Daniel Carver.
Okay.
So much here with
well, since we got the person wrong, to his wife, Rot. Thank you.
Let's read the thing first. So this is Daniel Carver's wife who passed away. This is so stupid. I can't believe it. Little Davenport Funeral Home Crematory in Gainesville, Georgia. He's from isn't Oakwood, Georgia, where Daniel Carver claimed to be from?
I don't remember.
This is Gainesville. Elfie Woodell Carver, age 76, of Cornelia, Georgia, passed away Thursday, November 28th. Thanksgiving.
Unfortunately, was blessed with a longish life.
Yeah. I wonder if she's as racist as he is.
I do remember her, and it's been mentioned in the chat. I do remember her being even worse than him.
She was born 1948 to the late William and Mary Woodall, and she's the member of the Silver Shoats Baptist Church. I haven't read this whole thing. How much you want to bet the Klan doesn't come up in this article?
Oh, what do you think?
It's their main thing. Well, just
how she did wonderful work for the church. That's what you're going to read.
In Silver Shoals Baptist Church in Lula, Georgia. In addition to her parents, she is preceded in death by her brothers Claude and Johnny. and grandson Daniel Carver III. She is
Oh,
survived by her
wonderful.
loving husband, Daniel Carver Sr., children Daniel Carver Jr., Bobby Joe, Betty Sue, Homer Carver, Marilyn Yop, and Brooke Carver. Grandchildren Becky Davis, John Henry, Dossie Nash, Homer Carver, Sara with the
Oh, great.
unnecessary H. I hate Sara when they have H. It's not necessary.
Well, calm down, because most of them have an H.
Lloyd with 5 L's. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Ugh.
Alex Farrist, several great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren, along with many, many loving relatives.
Oh,
Funeral
wonderful.
services will be held Monday. If anyone's in Georgia, stop by, please. December 2nd. My nephew lives right over there. 3 p.m. at Silver Shawls Baptist Church, and will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends at the funeral home Sunday. No black people allowed. 2 and 4.
Well, I was going to say, I hope that the entire Atlanta Hawks team and the Atlanta Falcons team all choose to attend.
And what's his name? Killer Mike, who's from the area as well. So with that, I went and got Daniel Carver clips, thinking it was him that died, and I'm going to play a couple of them anyway. So I went to the Daniel Carver roast, and very much that is so off limits for YouTube, a lot of it. So I
Yeah.
went and got the most YouTube-friendly part of it, and I think
Okay.
Artie's roast of Daniel Carver is the best thing to play.
I don't know what you're about to play, but we do not agree with the views expressed by the character of Daniel Carver.
Of course not. And this is Artie's roast of. By the way, I went to Beer League opening Friday, and there were 2 people in the theater, me and someone else. 3 o'clock
I
in the
still
afternoon
haven't seen that.
in Farmingville, Long Island.
Keep it going for the Joe Cocker of comedy, Bob Levy.
Assuming Daniel Carver is his wife's age, let's ballpark Daniel Carver. I'm going to say he is 18 years ago, 57 here.
Oh, maybe. It's about right.
Bob must be doing shit. This glass isn't broke from his fucking dumb fist. Believe me, I hate to be the one to break this to you, but Chappelle is at it again. He's stealing.
Say again, Sara?
I said, look at Gary's the expression on his face. I called him the R word, which was wrong. He looks like he is very special needs.
It does. Remember that Greg Giraldo joke at one of the roasts? He said that when you see someone like Gary, he usually has a helmet on, and his parents is walking him to the playground.
Mm-hmm. These roasts, like this is like the example of too much of a good thing, what spoils the whatever.
Yeah.
Like they just completely overdid it. This one, you don't need to do this.
Well, this was a dumb choice.
You don't need to do an Andy Dick roast.
Andy Dick and Daniel Carver, horrible choices.
You don't need to do a Ralph roast because he ruined that, and you knew he would.
And all you wanted was Howard and Fred and Robin, and you got that.
They should have stopped after like 2 or 3.
The Gary roast was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The Artie roast was fantastic. And the Ronnie roast was okay.
No, if Ronnie was never on this show,
he's the worst thing that happened. He's the worst thing. You can blame Stuttering John for Ronnie, right? Stuttering John said, doesn't he look like one of those Italians washing his car in the driveway all day on a Saturday? Then they started calling him Eugene, and then he started getting on all the time. That was when it all started.
Don't go by anything. Look at the perfect example is John's current show. Why would you take John's advice on anything in terms of broadcasting?
I'm just saying John was the trigger to getting Ronnie that attention that we.
I know.
And now it's the Ronnie Munn show, and it's the worst thing ever. And now it's forced. And JD, it's the worst.
And he's not even in the same state. He's in Vegas now, isn't he?
And they still can't.
And I hear that half the show is still Ronnie.
Yes, and that's why I don't listen.
I'm going to break this to you, but Chappelle is at it again. He's stealing from you again, man. Just the other day on the Tonight Show, he said he wanted to order a shrimp cocktail. He stole your incredibly dumb guy character who can't speak or read. Let's go to the great Sal, the stockbroker, who was great up here. Sal, you're a wonderful guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Artie.
Mark Harris called yesterday after hearing your soliloquy to Howard and called you a fucking faggot.
Anytime you get a Mark Harris joke, I'm all over it.
I could be going to hell for this, right? In terms of our listeners, and I'm probably going to get it in the comments. I never thought Artie was good at these.
He's good.
I actually thought Sal was the best.
He could that's fair. That's fair enough. Artie's pretty solid. I enjoyed.
But see, I always had a thing against Artie because he took Jackie's spot technically, and that's not fair. I realize that's not fair, but I always held that against Artie for some reason when I shouldn't have. So I'm tainted in my views of Artie. I do wish him the best.
You gotta admit, Artie was the only one to do great Howard jokes on these roasts. He had that joke where he goes, Beth is doing her part to help the homeless. Just the other day, she stepped over 5 homeless guys in Times Square and put a tourniquet on a squirrel. And she had the joke with he went after Howard when nobody else did. So you got to give him that.
I don't know.
Dude, what is wrong with you? You don't understand why Howard doesn't want to invite you to his kid's bat mitzvah? Those introductions wouldn't be too awkward, would they? This is Robin. She's the co-host of the show. This is Gary. He's the producer of the show. This is Sal. He's the guy who once admitted under hypnosis he wants to suck my cock. But seriously, Sal, you're doing great. Just a few years ago, you were a stockbroker making phony phone calls all day and making a lot of money. Now you make phony phone calls all day and you're completely broke. At this rate, a year from now, you'll be writing jokes for Leno and paying him $100 a week. Howard Stern is here, my boss. Howard Stern.
Thank you.
I don't remember what he does here, but hopefully it's something.
Thank you.
Still in back of the mic. He looks great. What are you, 68 now? Jesus Christ. That plastic surgery really worked, too, man. Every morning I walk in here, I got to do a double take. I said, whoa, did Brad Pitt get a radio show?
See, that's not fun.
By the way, Howard, I was talking to my cousin. He's over in Iraq the other day, and he was in a foxhole. His knee was bleeding. He had just gotten shot. He was trying to bandage up his buddy. They were in a firefight. They were shooting at the enemy, trying to stay alive. And he wanted me to tell you that he heard that the heater in your limo is too loud. And they're all praying for you over there, man. They said, look, tell Howard.
I forgot that joke.
Remember,
no one does this but him.
Remember how those teeth were, Howard's teeth?
Yeah.
He had like one classic side effect of Marfan syndrome.
Yes.
Is you have like multiple rows of teeth, like Joey Ramone did. He had like at least 2 rows of teeth here.
And that's, he's so obsessed with vanity. He's been working on that, and he had the veneers, and it looks more ridiculous. And
well, this is after the chin implant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
the nose.
Bradley Cooper called him piano teeth when he came in that day. Tamara Francois also has a crush on Diane Lane, Sarah, so you're in good company there.
I'll let you have her. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, Diane Lane. People forget she was in the Horatius and PC 23 says she was in the Outsiders. I forgot.
Go look at her mother's Playboy spread.
I'm not looking at her mom's Playboy spread right now when I'm looking at Susan Sarandon.
Her mom's got a good set of hangers back in the 50s.
Hangers.
Said, look, tell Howard somehow we'll pray for him, get through it, and it'll be warm, and he can helicopter to his Hamptons mansion.
Now there's a helicopter reveal, right, which is completely verboten now. Even in joke form, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
Lisa Lampanelli's here. A lot of people say to make it in show business, you have to be great looking. Lisa's proven you don't even have to be fuckable. I wish I had a dime for every time I get mistaken for Lisa.
Gamma Man going hard on Chuck Zito. Look, Gamma Man must be in the pagans or something. Look at that. Doesn't come from the heart. He has no heart. What a piece of shit.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Actually, for it or
Lisa Lampanelli might be cackling, but she's dying inside. This is no way.
You have to.
I almost feel sorry for her. So Holden says 1957 is when
Yeah,
Diane Lane.
that chat was what prompted me to go a searching.
Melissa DeMore was the bassist when she saw
Melissa Oftemauer was the bassist.
Oftemauer.
Yeah, after Holt kind of died off. He traveled around.
By the way, just for the record, to talk about our last roastie, Ronnie, just for the record, it's been 2 more months and I still haven't gone to lunch with that loser. Is he getting shorter? I walked in today. He was standing by some of the guards, and I thought security had to take your kid to work day. Oh, Christ. And look who's over here, this big, dumb fucking redneck.
I know this joke is made way too much, so I'm going to make it again. Any of those Neanderthals, how they view them, that they brought in as the fans, that are sitting there.
That's
any one of those
Fan Network.
Any one of those could have tripped in front of Ronnie and knocked him down.
Yep. He even looks feeble, doesn't he? Not only is he small, but he looks feeble.
I will always, whenever I see Ronnie, I will always remember that clip where he gets that tattoo of the shark. And Howard describes that he has so many moles on his arm that it looks like rocks.
That's a good observation by you. Howard actually has a little bit of energy in this clip. He's just so. I'm trying to remember. A lot of these roasts were done at night, so there's a palpable difference in the energy level. And I've always said the show should never be on in the morning. And I can't remember if the Carver one was done in the morning or not. I think it was. The Artie roast was at night. I think the Gary roast was as well. But you're right. The energy is way different.
Christ. And look who's over here, this big, dumb fucking redneck.
So Zersky says the Rock God Awards, Manson grabs Taylor's tits. She falls to the ground, then crawls away. What a piece of shit. Did you see that?
Well, it's like Howard grabbing Heather Locklear.
Yeah. What's the difference, right? At the people's, was it the
Blockbuster Awards.
Blockbuster Awards, right.
Dude, it's 2006. You look retarded.
Thank you.
You dumb fuck. Daniel, I smell black cock. Did you burp?
I can't smell it. I'm in this glass. They put me in here so I wouldn't have to smell all them niggers.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah. Let's stop.
Okay.
This was the YouTube friendly clip you chose.
I cannot account for him slipping that in there. He's not even supposed to be mic'd. You're not supposed to talk to the comedian when he's. I knew it was coming. How about a little bit of Cribs with him? You want to see where he lives?
Okay.
This is a Howard TV original production.
I'm shocked.
Hi, I'm Daniel Carver, a frequent guest on the Howard Stern Show.
You think his wife shows up in this?
I don't know. I would assume so.
So this is their caption for him.
Frequent.
Imperial Wizard, Grand Dragon, KKK. That's real deal. That's real. Do you remember, Sarah, him getting into a huge fight with Mark Harris on the Channel 9 show?
I don't remember the details.
I thought Mark Harris was going to fight him. It was crazy. It was
slap fight.
Yeah, I know.
Guest on the How
about he towel snaps with an actual towel, and then Daniel Carver towel snaps him back with a sheet.
No, Daniel Carver gets even more angry because he realizes he's turned on.
You think he's gay?
Yeah, there's always something going on with these kind of folks.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so angry.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you, PC. So Oakwood is very near Gainesville. Okay. G Canada says the only thing I like when the car lives in the house. I was young and did everything I could to follow the dogs outside. I'll use that later. That is testicular providence. And thank you, G Canada, for lighting up.
Is that
comments.
the highlight of the episode? Camilla took 3 craps in the litter box.
Seems like it. It seems like it.
And look at the idea how it's open MTV again.
Sara brings up a great point. So Howard's suing everybody in sight. How is he allowed to rip off MTV here?
Isn't that the Cribs logo?
Total plagiarism. The logo and everything. Frame for frame. Is it because no? This is after that. This is serious. So it's 80 miles northeast of Atlanta, Georgia. He owns 5 acres of land and 6 bedrooms, built in 1997, 5,000 square feet. I don't
The
even know.
house is 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
anything
like there's
about
a big
square feet.
big shop on the property.
When
I
people
probably got
like,
about
brag about square footage, I don't know what that means. I don't know. When people say square feet, I don't know anything about
if
that.
he was closer to Atlanta, that's probably about a $600,000 to $700,000 property now.
Jesus, you're right. Atlanta's gone crazy. You're right. Hey, thanks, Fold. Everybody, yes, hit the like button and hit subscribe.
Yes, please.
Please, right now. Fold is right. Everybody, right now, hit like and subscribe. Thank you, Fold.
Okay, the first room that I'd like to show you in my home is our living room. We don't stay here too often, but it's our living room, and some of my wife's dolls are in this room.
Oh my God, you got the Confederate Army.
You can see we've got cabinets full of dolls. My wife, she likes people dolls. She's got George.
I'll take that doll. I'll sell that.
Well, that's a pretty good rendering right there.
I will. All those celebrity dolls right there, I'll take.
Is that Bob Hope on the right?
I don't know.
Is that Bette Midler behind him?
Possible.
You can't have Jews up in the Carver house.
It's
right?
probably not, but
I think that's Bette Midler.
Burns, you got a lot of the presidents, you got John Kennedy.
Oh, yep. Give me those.
These dolls here, they're Cabbage
Babe Ruth, that was good.
Patch dolls. This doll.
He just had a black Cabbage Patch Kid.
These dolls here, they're Cabbage Patch.
Right. That's a black Cabbage Patch Kid.
Mm-hmm.
How does he
I don't know.
allow that?
I don't know. Keep going.
Dolls. This doll here was one of the first ones she ever got. She's had it probably 25 years, and it was one of the first
like the one I
Cabbage
have.
Patch dolls made. This is just a few of her favorite ones.
You got Stymie, Buckwheat. He's got a Buckwheat doll.
There's going to be a buckwheat comment.
Look at this shit.
She has thousands.
That's got to be worth a ton, that stuff.
Not as much as you think, but I can.
Okay, we'll leave this
pennies out of
first
it.
living room that we looked at, and we'll go up in the attic.
Oh God, she has a Princess Diana
See
cut out.
some more of my wife's dolls.
Oh God.
I'm not really into dolls, and I don't collect dolls.
Hope
My
not.
wife loves dolls, so I gave her this room up here. It's about 12 by 70 to keep her
shit.
less favorite dolls. My wife
Let's get a look at that again.
loves dolls, so
Those
I
are
gave her this
gone with the
room
wind
up
dolls
here.
in the
It's
box.
about 12 by
Look at this, Sarah. Look at this shit. How big is that? It's an attic?
70 to keep her less favorite dolls. She lined the walls up here, and she's got thousands of dolls. First one you see at the top of the steps will be a nigger.
Oh.
Whoa! Look at this.
She's got thousands of dolls. First one you see at the top.
Ugh.
Over on the right.
Look at
Oh
this.
no. Oh no. A
If
Selena
you were
doll.
truly racist, if you were truly in the Klan, you would not have this up. You see the locker in my high school that I had was nothing but NBA players, and everyone was black. And it is 100% white school.
I want that Flip Wilson doll though.
You like Flip Wilson?
No, I'd sell it.
Thank you, Chubby Pickle. He writes, I delivered to Oakwood, Georgia, where Daniel Carver lives. He's known in that town, and I asked where he lived and was told you wouldn't want to go anywhere near there. Holy shit. He's got balls.
That
That
Selena
Chubby
doll's a
Pickle's
shitty
got
doll.
cojones.
You did a shitty job.
Here we
on
got
that.
the colored section. We got Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
Is that's the first? What's that movie? Sorry.
Yeah. Who was his co-star, Sarah?
Bugs Bunny.
No. Played by
I don't know.
Billy West.
Okay.
Billy West.
Space Jam. Jesus, I couldn't
Space
think of
Jam.
it. Thanks
Bill
for
Murray
helping me.
And Billy. No, I was about to say it. I wanted you to get it.
I'll
Billy
take that
West.
Jordan, just a whole bunch of niggers.
Oh.
They're dolls, and she.
I can't. This is crazy that his house has this.
Michael Jordan. Keep them separated. We segregate. These over here.
Purple. C.J. McCollum.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Jaleel White looks exactly like C.J. McCollum.
These holiday Barbies. I mean, them things, they cost a fortune. Some of them things sell at the flea market for $300 or $400. If she sees a doll,
She probably has $100,000 worth of stuff here. I bet.
The problem with collectors like those, just because you paid that, doesn't mean that's what you're going to get.
No, it doesn't at all. It never is, right?
No, you're never going to get. Very rarely are you going to get what you paid for.
And Brendan goes, Daniel, they all said he was just as racist, but without Daniel's charm and likability. Daniel has this really kind of wretched charisma. I hate to say it. I guess because he owns his racism, that there's no good way to frame it. But Howard popularized him, right? Howard's trying to normalize him. Howard's like, oh, this is what I'm trying to make it look ridiculous. No, you love hearing the N-word because you're a creatively bankrupt idiot and a racist yourself. You love it. You're not normal. You're not trying to make him look ridiculous. You love it.
oh, she ain't got, she'll get it if I have to pawn something. Now, this is our dining room table with 8 chairs. It's just me and my wife lives here, but sometimes we'll have company. This is where we all sit down to eat. This is a china cabinet where my wife's got a few dishes that she likes to collect. My son, Daniel Carver Jr.
PC said so he had a roofing business in the same town his mom lived. Yeah, that's what I heard. I agree. He's a better talker than constructed comedy sketches and Artie's stand-ups. People don't like Artie's stand-up. I've found. I just think you're expecting more. It's not phenomenal, but he's just all about charisma and stuff. He really should just go up there and riff. He doesn't need. He shouldn't do material. He should just go up there and riff.
Junior, he's good with woodworking. And he
But
built
better
this
than
cabinet here.
better than
This
Shuli's
little
by a mile. I agree, G Canada. At least it's better than Shuli's by a
display
mile.
right here in the corner. This is Aunt Jemima.
Oh.
My wife collects some of this kind of junk. Everybody thinks Aunt Jemima was cute. All these little Aunt Jemima figurines down here. My wife collects it. This little Aunt Jemima nigger here.
Oh, all right, that's enough.
Yes.
I can't believe on Howard TV they didn't even bleep. They wanted that to go. I mean, obviously it's a pay-per-view and stuff, but still, I mean,
that was all I had for a while. Was just
God
that.
damn it. Even on this, like he's looking at dolls and he can't stop saying it. He's so cavalier about it. He's so casual.
Like Howard, he likes to shock.
So casual that it caught me off guard. Like I did not see that coming. Even me, and I know all his moves. Wiggy got smacked by a giant steel menorah. Speaking of which, this is for the road. Where is she? Where's my girl?
You got slapped the yarmulke.
I did.
Oof.
All right, everyone. Let me see. Where am I down here? Look at Sweet Lou at the buzzer. Sweet Lou Santas. Wake up, white people. Oakwood, Georgia. When Howard wanted to say the N-word, he would have Carver on. Exactly, Fold. Exactly. Sarah, I want everybody hit like and subscribe. We're going to come back next.
Yes, we lost. We had a bunch of subscribers that we lost over the last
bizarre.
2 days.
That's
what I read why that could happen. It's like accounts that aren't active for like a certain amount of time, and they just will reset sometimes their subscriptions. So if you're one of them, hope you find this show and resubscribe.
We're going to have to get Shuli to make 500 more fake subscribers on. Ask him what that's like. Everyone, I want to thank everyone. Hit like and subscribe, please. Everyone that donated. Sarah, do you have any? Next week, Chauncey's back with Bon Jovial and hopefully David, and we got a ton of good stuff from that we haven't gotten to. That's going to be another fun show.
I want to
Hopefully,
say, if I could interrupt you for a second and let you finish your spiel to close it out, I want to sincerely thank everybody who donated and everybody who just gave us a view and everybody who just hit the like button. You guys are always there when we need you. Appreciate it. Um, I may not see you or talk to you in the chat or whatever before the holidays. I'll try. But if I don't, I wish all of you happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, and a wonderful new year.
and Sarah's now in the market for Xbox One games, if anyone's selling them, because she's going to be a new proud
I'm broke. What are you
Xbox
talking
One
about?
owner. What?
I'm going to be learning Madden with all my time.
Yeah, it's easy. It's just button smashing. And my nephew beat me one time when he was 6. He just hit X over and over again. And he threw 12-yard passes down the field. It's different now. It's more complicated, but it's fun. There's a ton of games you could play. There's a new game, Grand Theft Auto Salem, Oregon. And
Oh,
you get
sure.
to be you.
Hey,
You go through,
the way this town is going on right now, it could be set here. But yeah, again, thank you, everybody. It
Thank
means
you,
the world.
Fine Chug. I'm not sure. It's either going to be Friday or I bet you I get sick after this. I bet you that I pushed
Jesus,
it.
you're the biggest
I should-
baby. You have a sniffle and you're dying.
Oh, nasal problems. Let's go Steelers. Thank you. PC, Wino Forever, GTO Classic Radio Station. Yeah, the Grand Theft Auto has their own radio stations. I think Opie and Anthony got paid for that. They did like a sample on it. Let me see. Yeah, everybody please hit like and subscribe. I love you all. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Shit. If there's something coming up that I'm neglecting. Oh yeah, Patreon. We're going to be doing Jump Street, and go to our Patreon for tons and tons. I'm going to be uploading like little things that are just that hit me that you haven't seen that may have gotten deleted. I'm going to put back up. I'm going to soon be doing Golden Girls, Jump Street, of course, 21 Arm Street, and Armfeld. No hugging, no learning. 90210. What else, Sarah? Am I forgetting?
Vanderarm rules.
Vanderarm rules.
How about that? Captain Jack Sparrow is in the house. Johnny Depp in attendance today here in Arizona.
Hey, John and Sarah, it's Holly Robinson Pete. How you doing?
He's a 10.
There, you think? See that again?
At that football game, oh my God.
Depp! Greco!
Hey, John and Sarah, it's Holly Robinson Pete. How you doing?
How about that? Captain Jack Sparrow is in the house. Johnny Depp in attendance today here in Arizona.
One more.
You are the dream I never knew I had.
Thanks, I lost my boner.